Oh, just perfectly timed with my announcement. We're sending. We're beaming.
We are. So, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone beyond and between. This is What's Up. This lovely voice coming to you live is Lucky, and over there is Omega.
Hi, chat. Hello. Before we go anywhere, I would like to remember, because I feel like we're going to chat. I hope you're ready for us to yell about video games,
I'm going to yell.
because there's some stuff. But before I get into that, I need to remember to read off my patron list and tell you that this episode is partially brought to you by our patrons, including Adam DeHarp, Marcus OG, Carlos, Dragon Ferris, Flightless Icebird, Jeremy Vasquez, Just the Fae, John Sandoval, Starlight, Legendary Boss Hunter, Regent Raptor, Rise of Kenji, Road Robin, Sharvor, Shunfire, some guy named Bob Siren, Timothy, and Varian the Crow. And if you like what we do and want to see us do more, consider supporting us on Patreon. And do not get in the Mako. You cannot support us from there. And then in 2, they decided to redo that, but worse.
Okay.
Give you the Hammerhead, and it's like the Mako, but it flies, but also it's 10 billion times more fragile. Anyway, so here's our intro. Man, there's so many ways we could start this, but do we want to start with why you're hunting space monkeys right now?
Like, in the game sense, or why the reason I'm playing Mass Effect and... Oh, I just ran.
Yeah, I mean, in general, you're playing Mass Effect right now. Mass Effect Legendary Edition. That should be clear.
Yeah.
So, you know, and you did say this was on stream on Wednesday, so some of the people following the greater Studio Omega canon may remember. You did want to put down a note to talk about Mass Effect because you had Mass Effect thoughts from before Wo Long on YouTube. Stop bothering about the audio. Somebody in chat responded to me. I know it works. Still sassing us about the audio bitrate. So you could talk about Mass Effect, but also specifically you're playing Mass Effect for a reason, which is also a talkable. So wherever you want to go with that.
Yeah, let me get back into the Moko so I stop inhaling fucking symbiotic bacteria that causes anaphylactic shock.
You know, a normal Tuesday outside.
Yeah. Okay, did I miss the fucking monkey? No, I am playing Mass Effect. Normally, I'd probably be playing Wo Long in this situation, but I have had what I'm gonna call a... Wait, no, this is all the fucking monkey colonies. Son of a bitch! Ah!
Yeah, there's a reason why we stopped doing this.
All right, well, I'm going to
go
to
no
this
more open world
and then I'll just go around in a circle and start looking for this fucking thing again. Anyway, so I have been playing Wo Long, and I have been having a pretty good time with it. I could probably give some better thoughts about on it later, but if people know Lucky, everyone should know that Lucky is not a big fan of two things: competitiveness and assholes. There's probably a lot more things I'm not a fan of, but for the sake of this conversation, we're going to highlight these two. In general, Lucky does not have a good time with most PvP activities. Usually, at best, he tolerates them, and the only point he really enjoys them is when he has his friends on his side or on the enemy side, because then it just becomes, you know, doing something with friends rather than, you know, just straight up PvP. So, and one of the things that has always turned me off from Soulsborne games, specifically like Dark Souls and whatnot, is the invasion mechanic.
Invaders.
Invaders.
I believe that is the typical term in Soulsborne.
Yeah, is the invader mechanic, in which some rando will jump into your world and try and hunt you down and kill you. Me, who is usually playing these games for the single player solo, already by the already grueling combat and depressive atmosphere of games, I don't really jive with the concept that someone is just literally jumping in to ruin my fucking day. Especially in a lot of situations where you might be already hard-pressed and stressed and doing all that stuff. I don't understand it. I truly and utterly do not get it.
And this is why chat has stream evidence of this. I always play those games in offline mode. Because, listen, I think there's hypothetically there is a reason for why From does this sort of mechanic and why I think other Soulsborns have included this as a kind of mechanic. It appeals certainly to a type of gamer who played these games because now you not only get to demonstrate how fucking inswollenated your penis is to robot machines, but also to real life human beings. And I do think there are some people who like it for the challenge because they are also looking for other players who are playing online who are having swollen penises to defeat invaders. You know?
Penis on penis combat, go.
Yeah. Like there are a couple of people I know like on Twitter who are also artists who are like super into Soulsborne games and they, talk about doing PvP and stuff, and usually they're out there to actually try like cool builds and other weird shit. But in general, it's not, it's not something that's for me. And quite frankly, a lot of invader types, the kind of person who goes to activate the PvP only, groups or whatever in Dark Souls, usually, as Lucky said, they're being assholes. I remember, some of you might not remember this, but I did talk about this in our chat to kind of put a point on it. Some of you may remember the quote-unquote controversy about Elden Ring's seamless co-op mod on Steam, when there were so many PvP shitters who were like, no, you can't have co-op without also PvP. That's the balance. It's unbalanced if I can't come in your world and murder you while you have friends. No, shut up. You just want to murder people. But chat may be wondering, gee, Lucky, why is that conversation coming up, talking about Wolong?
Because turns out this actually surprised me. I didn't think about it, which is probably the reason why I got fucking destroyed by this, but fucking Wolong has an invasion mechanic. I did not realize this. Basically, I'm in part 4 or 5. This is like, oh god, I think it's 2 maps after the fight with Lu Bu. Yeah, no, it is 2 fights because you fight Lu Bu, and then the boss of the next room is the Tao Ti. I don't actually know how to pronounce that. And then there's the next map where you're like trying to cross ships and stuff. And I'm in this area. I am slowly and methodically making my way through the map because I play heavy wood and water. So I'm fairly sneaky. I'm fairly sneaky, and I'm usually using staffs. But I'm wearing light armor. Lucky likes light armor. I do not know why. I don't know. I like being mobile. But
yeah, you're much more about mobility and aggro.
Yeah.
I usually turtle, in case you haven't noticed, chat. Though I do remember how to dodge roll.
But do you have the module?
He's got a highlight. I am also actually, if you haven't tried it, I am also actually pretty sure, by the way, Lucky, you can just fucking Shrek these monkeys.
Yeah, I don't want to be an asshole to monkeys. All they did was find a shiny thing. I'm gonna be mad at fucking Earth Alliance who are somehow keep losing these goddamn probes. What? Earth Alliance, I know you're fucking racist as fuck, but why did you put fucking a nuclear device on a probe that you sent into fucking alien space? Explain this to me. But so I'm there, I'm pussyfooting around, and technically I will out myself here. Technically I did know of an invasion mechanic. There is an invasion mechanic in the game because the game will occasionally send NPC. Oh, hey, there's more in here.
Yeah, I was gonna comment when you got in here. I'm pretty sure the thing is inside. Now that I see this.
Yeah.
You summoned forth my PTSD.
But the game, like, oh god, with the map with Lu Bu and some other ones, the game will send NPC invaders in there, which are, not that much a fucking problem. It's just usually a high level dude who just comes blitzing at you from across the screen, and you're like, oh no.
Very, very common in these kinds of games. I think all the way back into like Demon Souls and Dark Souls 1, there were, there are NPC dark spirits who could invade you at certain scripted points, and basically they play out kind of like what you described off mic, it like being like in Wolong, where it's basically just like a mini boss. It's an enemy with player type move sets and equipment that you got to worry about.
Ooh, a new Unity amp. So, I knew there was an invasion, but like I said, this comes from Team Ninja, who did Neo and Neo 2, and as far as I remember, I don't ever remember being invaded by a player in Neo and Neo 2. I don't even know if it was a mechanic. Usually the mechanic you have that lets you get fucked by other people is you have the Revenant mechanic, in which you touch a flag and a computer-controlled representation of a player comes and tries to fight you. And can still kick your ass. It happens. And like you said, I fought those all day, every day, because that's how you have some good loot in there. But...
And also, that's very similar to how you would get allies from other players as well in Neo.
Yes.
There were blue spirits and red spirits. Woo.
Ooh. Did I miss a monkey? No, I think there's just another door. Monkey, why is all this business? So, anyway, be lucky. Be kind of a squishy dude. Monkey! Give it! Give it! You do not have it. Do you? Give it!
Give me the nuke.
Ah! Give me the loot. The Liberator 7 medium armor. And I'm in the process of systematically removing a mini boss's ad so I can, jump from above and, stab it through the skull with a stick. When I get this fucking message that says, an evil presence is on the way, and I'm just like, what does that fucking mean? Sure enough, like a minute later, some dude named Ghost Buddy, by the way, everyone, keep that in mind. If I ever find this man, I'm going to push him down a flight of stairs. Just shows up and starts being the... There it is.
Data module.
Looks like the data
Rex
module
just yelled that.
Don't transmit this info to your Alliance command.
And just starts being the most absolute gremlin ass gremlin I can fucking think of. Like, they don't go immediately for the combat. No, they just start running around and fucking with my NPCs, because in this map you're given 2 NPCs who come along and help you beat up stuff. They're very nice like that. You're just like, here, have some dudes. Do you want to have some heroes from, the Romance of the Three Kyrian? Here you go. And they start with them. They're throwing poison clouds everywhere. They're running around throwing, I'm very frazzled at this point because I was not expecting this and do not know entirely what to do. And they start, forcibly moving me away from the fucking rest point. Hoops! Stop that! I'm trying to tell a goddamn story. I saw fucking explosive containers in here. I should have fucking known.
It's time to fight, yeah.
Bitch!
Just melt those geth.
Barrier don't give a fuck!
Yeah, I don't think geth are good at barrier damage.
That geth really fucking ran at me.
The original Mass Effect is a very fiddly, it's a third-person shooter, but it's a very fiddly RPG style. As chat, I'm sure, has noticed if they've forgotten Mass Effect by how many containers Lucky has opened that have just had, shit with random numbers on them.
I hate it. I hate it so much.
Okay, there are some people who liked this more technical play style, but in general, the majority of players were so relieved when Mass Effect 2 came, and they just decided to fucking streamline this shit.
Yeah. But, back to Along. So this person gets in here, starts wrecking my entire shit, and I run away because I'm like, guys, I'm good at fighting computers. I am not good at fighting people. I'm not.
Well, and also I want to say this. So, we talked about this. Not every PvP invader type player is the same.
No.
But, funnily enough, your first big encounter is with a guy who seems to have a cheese strat. You say he's talking about he's like applying dots and he's trying to like funnel you and shit.
Yeah.
This guy did not show up and like bow to you for honorable single person combat.
No, like if that dude had came to me and bowed for combat, I'd be like, all right, I'm about to go get my ass kicked, but I'm gonna fucking do it.
Yeah, but this was like, okay, I got a guy, I need to get him. I also want to say, like you said, Neo 2 didn't seem to have this from what I remember from you playing it and from what we've talked about it. They have different mechanics. I feel there's a little bit of in like all of the FromSoft style Soulsborne games, when you get your ass invaded, it literally like, hey, this person is invading you, and you can tell it's a human person because it'll shout out their dumb name.
Yeah.
I feel like Wolong kind of undersold it a little by just saying you feel a dark presence. Like,
well, no, like it was a dark presence, and then it did say that Ghost Buddy invaded, but
okay. So it was the preliminary style.
The
warning.
preliminary
Okay,
stuff
so
like confused me because I said like I didn't think about it at all. I'm gonna climb this fucking mountain. Let's go,
seems
Mako.
still a little loosey goosey, but yeah. So the guy
Came in, and I was able to get him to a stalemate for a little bit. Basically, I was able to put enough distance between him that we had a sniping contest, and then he just ran up on my shit, and I couldn't stop him because Wolong features a heavy deflecting mechanic where you deflect things, and I don't know how this man was able to do it, but they deflected every single one of my blows and killed me in 2 hits. So I don't know like what Wolong has for like balancing encounters. Oh, there is resources over here. Of course I had to climb the fucking mountain to get them. I hate searching for minerals, but I do it every single fucking time.
Again, another thing vastly improved. Yes, you do get to look at less wide open vistas in Mass Effect 2, but it's a lot simpler.
Yeah, and the vast open vistas in 2 I think are generally just better.
Oh well, yeah, because in 2 they didn't need generic open world segments, so everything is shaped and scripted. Whereas if the resource gathering mechanic is you fire probes at planets, and after you scan them, so.
But so this person completely kicked my ass, and I had lost like, oh god, I can't even remember the exact time, but it was like 20 to 40 minutes of progress. And I'm just like, why? Why is this a fucking thing? Why did this like, again, if the person like had just like shown up, bowed, and readied up for me to like fucking do combat, like that's another thing. That to me says like that's someone here to have a fucking fight. No, this person just wanted to fucking style on my ass and get out and go do it to the next person, and that I think is what pisses me off the most.
Yeah, and I don't know anything about Wolong specifically, but I don't know like what that guy got out of that.
I don't know.
Is that like is there a resource thing? Is there good loot in it or whatever? I don't think so, because the looting system isn't as much like it was in Nioh, where you're like constantly doing incremental upgrades.
No, actually, I like that about Wolong. Like, you can use like some of the first weapon you get, as long as you just keep upgrading, they stay relevant.
Yeah, but like, because again, obviously, some people are just gremlins. They are just bullies. They're just going to be like, all right, well, I know what the cheese strat is. It's time to kill people because, cheesing AI isn't good enough for me. I can't get it up anymore.
I yelled that. I said some angry things on Twitter.
Yeah. Also, listen, I'm going to say some mean things if you are a cheese asshole PvP player, and you deserve it. Okay, I'm not punching down here. It's the fucking people who trash talk about your mother on Xbox Live and stuff. I distinctly recall I believe it was one Mr. Russian Badger said that he could not show you any footage of him playing Modern Warfare 2's Call of Duty Warzone because he would get hella demonetized. Because apparently people in the voice chat, despite the fact that Blizzard Activision was like, yeah, we're going to listen to all your chats and shit now, it's still really,
What the fuck's over here?
bad. I was trying to figure out what kind of specific word bad it is, but I'm going to assume it's all of them. It's just all bad.
Going down.
But yeah, no, like again, if you're out here looking for like, I want the greatest challenge possible, and that means I have to fight other players, that is respectable. I assume that means that those people would understand that Lucky is probably not the greatest challenge in the world.
No, I'm pretty mid, I'm not gonna lie.
and I don't doesn't sound like you were super far into the game either. You know.
I don't know how far I am into the game really.
Yeah. But yeah, so like I assume that there must be some kind of benefit to it besides just, you know, the blood flow to increasing the blood flow to your penis or whatever. And I'm not going to say like when you're doing PvP stuff, whether because if you're forced to, yeah, it feels good to get on other people, you know. I've had good runs in multiplayer games, but I also don't go out of my way to fucking cheese guys either. Chat, I'm going to talk about Battlefield later because 2042 is free now on PlayStation. I haven't played with real people yet. They have a very robust solo/co-op mode. So I've just been fighting AI to try and get my bearings, and I've still been getting my ass blasted, so look forward to my thoughts on Battlefield later. But yeah, I don't know why that guy felt the need to hit you with like a cheese build and stick it out too. Like, I don't know. It kind of seems like that guy's an asshole.
No.
If he wants to come forward and defend himself, sure, but he won't.
No, and it's gonna just be, and I guarantee their fucking argument is it sucks to sucks and get good, nerd. That's literally what they're gonna say. They literally have no other defense in that, except that they wanted to and they could and they did.
But yeah, so this set you back a little bit.
This set me back a little bit, and that pissed me off very much because I don't like having my time wasted.
Yeah.
Like, well, excuse me, I should clarify that. I don't like having my time wasted by other people besides me. Like I said, if I am doing something silly and stupid and fun, but I'm doing it, you know, that's different. That's how I feel about like a lot of things. Like, it's okay if I do it to myself, but if you try to do it to me, I will fucking murder you. Oh, gravity. Goodbye. I want to know who built the balancing system on the Mako here. Just whee.
I feel like there's how weird. And by the way, they rebalanced this for Legendary. They rejiggered the controls in the physics system. So supposedly this is the improved version.
I mean, I'm pretty good at the Mako. I can like you see me. I'm scaling up mountains with.
Yeah. No, it's actually pretty rugged, but there's definitely some moments. But I definitely had that first thought when I was like, okay, so this is the improved handling. The unimproved must have been bad because this is still a little janky. But there are many ongoing jokes in the later Mass Effect games about how weird the Mako was. Like they don't miss their opportunities to be like, yeah, we know the Mako was weird. It didn't handle well. And we got that SR1 Normandy bridge.
Yep. Let's see.
But yeah, so and in general, I don't think a lot of people like having their time wasted by other players and whatnot.
Yeah, no, I just cannot imagine a person, just in general, who is playing a game and has someone come in, ruin their day, and goes, yeah, that's my bad. Like, yeah, no, I enjoyed having my ass kicked by this asshole. I don't see anyone enjoying this. Anyone.
Yeah, like usually with, and again, like I said, I don't know a lot about how Wulong constructs it. I do know that like invasions are pretty industry standard at this point for Soulsborne type games. But you know, Axe was mentioning this in chat earlier, like, usually with, like, the classic Dark Souls type games, and I think it even in Elden Ring as well, it kept up, like, there's usually, like, groups you associate with, right? There are, you know, your various compacts and factions and cults to join. Some of them are just the, hey, we need you to murder as many players as possible. But there are also, like, you know, the Blue Phantoms who are like, hey, do you want to be available to be summoned to defend other players, you know? Mm-hmm. Or, like, in Dark Souls 1, there's a specific group of invaders who are, like, only summoned when another player is entering a specific zone because that's, like, the fluff, right?
Yeah.
That there are these knights and spirits who band together to defend this sacred wood or whatever. Like, usually there's at least a little bit of reasoning for why it happens. There's still almost always a... good old megastructures. Sorry. Mass Effect has good, very solid aesthetics for a lot of its work here.
Who should I
Not as crazy as they could get, but still pretty decent. You know? Yeah, and the Silvermoon Knights for Andor Londo and stuff. Like, usually there's some kind of qualifier there, and it is, like, a semi-opt-in, like, if you're online, you can still have some weird, yeah, Axe, you're obsessed with the Dragon Cult. Now go online and tell me how many people were used that one. Versus like the bloody fingers or tongues or whatever, the ears, whatever blood thing where you just kill more people. God, I do not miss the initial cargo bay.
Let's see here.
Listen, SR1 Normandy is cool. SR2 Normandy layout, iconic. I'll say it. But like, there's usually some level of opting in, and you're like well aware ahead of time that this is a thing that can happen. And like, obviously, you weren't really interested in invasion, so you were probably minding your own business. So I don't know if there was like a plot point where you talked to a guy and found a thing, and that starts the part where you can get invaded, or if it's just like, well, once you start entering certain areas, other people can come at you. But like, it seems like Wolong kind of just is like, well, this is what everybody does, so we're gonna switch to that, and it doesn't like have a lot of the setup. God, sorry, I forgot that that's another thing they did, is everybody changes their colors when you swap their armors. As opposed to, again, Mass Effect 2 and 3 is just like, here's different skins. You want Garrus to be blue? Garrus can be blue. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm just staring at the lists of shit, and I'm like, yeah, I don't miss this part.
No, I don't either, but damned if I'm gonna... Because I guarantee you, these NPCs are horrible about their weapons. They will not stick to a single weapon. Ever. They just keep pulling out random ass shit. I'm like, please stop. Like,
yeah,
no.
I don't remember how the AI handles the weapon. I think it's range-based. They might also actually be designed to like optimize for like different types of damage and shit. I don't remember. Your NPCs are usually pretty competent, but that does mean you want to make sure they're equipped with good shit, because then they can actually use it.
I usually
because they'll make an effort.
Weapons based on. Do I not have any program? Let's see. Oh, we have mercy. Okay, perf.
And you don't want to fuck around, because I'm pretty sure Mass Effect level scales everything. Not that I mind level scaling, chat, but there are times when it's very silly.
Well, like I said, but that's whenever I do something, I have to make sure I come down and check, make sure everyone has their fucking...
Yeah, no, shout out to BioWare. They learned a lot from their design of Mass Effect. Like, they really streamlined a lot of this shit. You know, literally they made it so that you do your at the party selection every mission. You can do your loadout optimization and shit. There's a lot of good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so you stopped playing Wolong because you got invaded, and it does kind of seem like, you know, from the way you described it, it kind of came out of nowhere, and that's a little shitty.
Mm-hmm.
And so you went back to Mass Effect, which is what you're doing right now.
Yee. Kind of what you got going on, Hollywood.
Sorry, I'm just the pain. Everybody has their own locker. Why? BioWare, why isn't it one button? And I'm sure at the time it was like, well, it makes more sense for them to all have their own different lockers, right? That's part of the experience. Then it's like, no, it's just way more convenient. I think that the chat, there's a lovely intersection between realistic and convenient. And sometimes you lean more on realism for like effect, and sometimes you lean more on convenience. But there are a lot of healthy middle grounds. This is the fucking, you know, flash fab future. I think they talk about that in 2 when they describe the fact that you've got an onboard like weapon fabricator.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you just make all your own shit anyway. There's no reason to not have this as a single menu. Everything's like supercomputers fabrication gravity bullshit. You're telling me that we can't have just one giant locker with Mass Effect fields that auto sorts everything? Science fiction, fix it. So, Lucky, do you have any more to say about your Wolong incident right now, or just your general theory of invasion?
Oh no, I have plenty of the stuff. Like, if I was to design an invasion system that I think would give me visceral satisfaction, it's I would design an invasion system in which every time an invader killed you, you would be given 2 options in your death. You'd be given the option to forgive them, in which nothing bad happens to them, and you just carry on with your life. truly the mark of someone who can, take their lumps and live with it. Or you can slap them with a fucking grudge, which gives them a permanent debuff to all their stats. And it stacks. So the more person that fucking kills and the more people that hate that person, the weaker they fucking get until they're going to get their ass blasted by people way weaker than them. And the only way you can get it off of you is if everyone decides to go back and forgive you. Which people aren't. So suck to suck, bitch.
I definitely feel like there's a lot of room in games for, like, feedback with people, right?
Yeah.
I remember seeing earlier today that, like, there was an article coming out where somebody was talking about how, like, there's certain features in, like, 14, like, they were, like, doing an examination of, I think it's called the blacklist. Like, where they were wondering if the article was debating if it was an effective system to actually stop harassment. And there's a lot of back and forth there. You can block people, mute people, whatever. Different things have different accesses. By the way, speaking of things, it's completely unrelated, but I really wish, I know that YouTube does this. I really wish Twitter had, like, a hide on individual tweets. Obviously, I'm pretty sure the 4 people Elon Musk left working at Twitter probably aren't into implementing new features right now, but, like, the fact that all you could do is mute or block somebody or turn off retweets, but I'm like, they did something with the algorithm so that now you keep seeing retweets as they're retweeted, even your own. And I'm like, yeah, I just saw this because I retweeted it. Twitter, why are you telling me again? But, like, I would love to just be like, okay, I've seen this retweet enough, hide. But, like, there's a lot of different features for that. And I guess that, like, technically it's hard to say you can get, quote-unquote, harassed in, like, Soulsborne type invasions because it's very hard to continuously set up the same invasion. But I definitely feel like there is no room for feedback for, like, I know that Dark Souls games sometimes have problems with, like, exploits and shit. I don't even think there's, like, a report a player for being a hacker. Not that because you're on console. I don't. Is there crossplay on Wolong? Anybody know?
I don't think so.
Because I don't. You said he deflected every hit. I'm pretty sure if you're on console, that means he was, in fact, just that good at the button prompt.
Oh, yeah, no.
It's not like he's fucking, hacking or anything.
I need more barrier.
Problems that happen on PC games. But, like... But, Axe, you're assuming that there are mutually agreed upon PvP zone duels. Who said that exists? I know that Elden Ring, for instance, has a Coliseum, but...
And it's like, in the saying, the two can be mutually exclusive. You could still have a fucking thing, but but here's the thing: if you agree to honorable combat, there should be no grudges in the first place.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, some people will probably be cheap and just be like, "Well, I lost, so I'll dev you anyway." But I mean, how can you guarantee you're not going to run into assholes when you invade anyway? There's always that restriction, and hypothetically, you would get more positives than not positives. And like I said, there's no real... I don't think there's a feedback loop for this kind of thing normally. Which is... I don't know. Sad's not the right word, but, like, it's a little...
Who dat?
Interesting. It's a little disappointing that there's not more juice on it, Because that just means that, like, if you're... Basically... If you're an asshole on the internet in Invasions, the game doesn't care and nobody cares but the people you beat up, which is probably why people feel the desire to be actually, like, they're free to be an asshole on Invasions or whatever. But, like, there's...
Even though I only have a pistol, look, he's still using his Vanguard strat of barrier and go!
Yeah. That's what you do.
Bitch.
But listen, I don't know if we're gonna, like, change anything about the way Soulsborne type stuff goes, because everybody laments how shitty FromSoft is at, like, the way they do net stuff for basically no reason. If you want to actually co-op with your friends, even Elden Ring is really annoying unless you are playing on PC and install the the seamless co-op mod and shit. Like, they just... I've talked about this a lot with FromSoft specifically, but I think it applies to Soulsborne's. What the fuck? Oh, right, these guys. Yeah, it's the stalkers. I didn't realize he was jumping at first. I was like, what the... Is he flying like Superman? No. It's these guys. They jump in the corners.
I don't remember this area at all.
But, like, this is the thing I've talked before about, like, I am always concerned that... luckily, at least, they seems like they still have some creative drive to do things differently occasionally. But, like I said, I feel like sometimes... From feels a little too safe in their ability to make games that people will buy. And that they don't need to actually, like, improve basic game functions and can just be like, well, it's supposed to be hard, so sucks, I guess, whatever. I've talked about this, like, actually playing Elden Ring. I think they've done a lot, and, like, just the transition, like, open world stuff and the stuff they added later with certain NPC tracking, you know, always being able to set your own waypoints and stuff. That's a lot better. But also it took them, like, I guess technically until Sekiro, because that had some platforming, right? Like some actual, like, mobility stuff you could do. Never played Sekiro. But, like, in a Dark Souls style Dark Souls, it took them until Elden Ring to be like, yes, we have given you a dedicated jump that does stuff. It is a functional jump and not just a dead button that we added because, I don't know, these video games need jumps, I guess. And, like, it feels like those kinds of minor nitpicks aren't enough of a impact on people talking about, reviewing, or playing their games that they can't just be like, oh, well, we'll fix it later. Wolong obviously is not made by From directly, but it's kind of in the... Yes, I know every game fucking has jumping in it, but every jump sucks and is useless. Axe, why? Why would you say that? It's bad. It's a bad jump. It shouldn't exist. It doesn't do anything. Fuck. God. Go play a FromSoft game, then. If you want to suck their dick so much. Jesus. I'm making a point here. I'm not saying the jump doesn't exist. I'm saying the jump sucks. Always sucked until, like I said, in Elden Ring, they actually got, like... Oh, yeah, that's right. Does Demon Soul actually have a jump? I can't remember.
I believe no.
I think I got killed a couple of times because you can't jump in that game. But, like...
Oh, you're hacked.
Yeah. Your buddy is doing buddy things, helping you out. But, like, there's... The jump is bad, usually, and that's the kind of thing where it's like, why do you have a jump? In some cases, it's so that they could do, like, bad platforming, but like Axe said, you know, they, like, in Dark Souls, they had some ledge stuff, but it's not like they had ledge physics, right? I don't think even Elden Ring doesn't have, like, clambering. Because that would way too easily allow you to sequence break, so I understand why they don't do that, but it's still funny, you know? We do have a couple of FromSoft apologists, but, like, I generally don't think our Discord community is as bad as some people I've seen on the internet, just because the like, Dark Souls dude bro type personality I don't think would survive super long in our Discord.
No.
Because they would be the people telling Lucky, like, oh, well, you got evaded, so get good, I guess. And then Lucky would be like, all right, get the fuck out of my Discord.
I am like that.
I don't want to talk to you. Go away.
Listen, Lucky rules by benevolent dictatorship.
I mean, yeah, I'm gonna say useless. I don't think is the word I mean. When I said pointless as well, and I think that is it. There is no point to it. There's no deeper purpose. They just added it to add it, and sometimes they decide to make it count, and sometimes they don't. And I don't think anybody is gonna be like, oh, the weird, janky platforming segments in Dark Souls. That's what I live for. No, you don't. And I mean, I've turned around. Like I said, I like Elden Ring a lot better. I stopped playing Elden Ring only because just the muscle memory of doing that and trying to stream God of War Ragnarok was absolutely destroying me like that first week. So I put it down so I could do other shit. And now there's like 5 million video games coming out. But, you know, I will eventually get back to it, and I'll have to probably relearn all my shit. But I think that, like, in terms of actually growing their game design, like I said, the actual, like, playing it, the open world switch for Elden Ring is phenomenal. The ability for me to go, oh, there's a giant dragon in front of the plot coupon I need. Let me just sneak around this rock, grab the thing. Torrid, we're going. We're fucking leaving. And you just ride away from the dragon because you don't want any part of that shit. Like, that's great. You know, and there's still... were some very long blocks where I think the classic FromSoft level design reared its head. Whenever they funnel you into a tiny castle, and it's just like, yeah, so you just have to deal with the most asshole enemies possible over and over again until you get, 5 extra feet and unlock the shortcut. Then you never have to go to this section again. And it's like, wow, guys, you could just, even out this game design a little, rather than put me in this hell hallway with these fucking eagles with swords on their feet every time. Who have the ability, by the way, to stab giant red barrels and throw them at me. Why?
Nothing new.
Why have you done this?
Critical threat right now. But getting rid of that
It's literally right outside of a fucking spawn point, too. So until you go all the fucking way around and unlock the shortcut, you can't not deal with those assholes. They're fucking flying anyway. Yeah, it's just, there's a lot of weird shit. But yeah, that's why I say the jump is pointless, per se, is because it doesn't really add anything,
Done, but your heroics don't impress me, Commander.
Okay, then you can solve your own fucking problems, bitch.
Good old dialogue wheel.
Bye.
Well, so this goes back to a point, actually, I wanted to bring up about, like I said, that axis of realism and convenience. Yes, realistically, if I go to, like, the midpoint of a tower and, like, I go out on a section of wall, right? There should be some wall section, and there'll probably be some, like, battlements around there. Though, obviously, many FromSoft area designs have freakish, unnatural, unintuitive architectural layouts. Fucking bumming around Yharnam and Bloodborne is like, who the fuck built this way? It's okay, it's a dream. Probably a dream. There's parts of the Bloodborne lore I don't follow, but like, that's what I said. That axis of realism and convenience. Just because you can, or it would make sense to put something there, doesn't mean that that's best for the players. And yes, I know they made up lore for why there are sword eagles. There are eagles with sword legs who are trained to throw barrels at you. That's still fucking insane, right? That's crazy. Obviously, I think these games are popular because they have some of this fucking crazy, weird NPC design, right? Like, how many people have had like talk about how fucking cool the models are in FromSoft, like Dark Souls type games. I think I've actually talked about on stream how I would love like a fucking monster compendium so you could actually like look at their models. Oh, yeah. Because most of the time you don't have time to look at these enemies' models because they're trying to fucking kill you. But like, still, it's just it's the reason why those eagles are there and why it's set there is so that they can be, so that they can be difficult. It is an outer wall, and I'm pretty sure they're supposed to be there to throw oil barrels on bad guys, but, and don't quote me on this because it's been months since I played it, I'm pretty sure that was an outer wall facing like a couple of yards of rock wall and then unlimited abyss. Like, I don't think there was like land in that direction. So I don't know how practical that was. Maybe they were just using it for barrel storage and the eagles just love the barrels so much. But anyway. And yes, no, I won't shut up about this part because that the comparison level of how hard it was for me to beat up Godric the Grafted versus how long it took me to get through his fucking stupid castle. Classic FromSoft Soulsborne disconnect. I hated that castle a lot. It sucked. There were so many tight quarters and dark rooms and giant assholes who filled the entire hallway. And then admittedly, I set up for it a little. I, summoned help and shit, but I did beat Godric the Grafted first try. So, like, as you would expect from this shit. Fucking courtyards full of guys with fucking ballistas and Scorpios shooting at me. Ugh. Again, realistic that the besieging a castle as a lone gunman is hard, but I am forced to be a lone gunman. I can't actually, like, strategize, Well, okay, not entirely true. I can summon, like, wolves and jellyfish and shit in certain areas, but you know what I mean. There's an army full of guys in the castle, and they're set up realistic to repel a siege.
Wait,
so
that's the skyway. Let's not go that way. Let's go fix everything else.
I don't get to summon up my dudes to go, besiege the castle that way. So there's always, like I said, that intersection of realism and creativity, and finding that sweet spot for what's convenient for players. And personally, I'm a fan of realism in writing. for a lot of video games, I tend to find the parts where the game gets quote-unquote realist, where, like, there's a big challenge, and the challenge is like, well, logically, what did you expect? Usually in those games, I'm like, okay, yeah, but logically, you know, I can't, you know, summon blue magical swords and throw them at people. So why have you decided that logic must rule right now in the way that fucks me? And the answer is because it fucks me. I don't know. Maybe I'm just... This is definitely a personality thing with me. I don't like when people are or things are disingenuous to me. Like, I get sometimes very unreasonably annoyed when I feel like games are winking at me when they're like, oh, gee, that was hard, right? And I'm like, yeah, I know it was hard. You made it hard. Like, that, I don't know why, but that does piss me off a lot of the time when that sort of thing happens. And it's like, why would you lampshade this? This doesn't change the fact that you, the game designer, designed it to be hard. Yeah, I know. He likes the struggle. And usually he's honest, but like I said, it's just, there are a lot of games that aren't honest with themselves, and I would prefer if they were more honest. And honestly, that game design honesty is why, like I said, I haven't given FromSoft a lot of my money. They don't need it, but I don't buy a lot of their games because a lot of their game design decisions piss me the fuck off. Yep, Baron. Why did that cutscene exist?
I don't know. There's weird-ass cutscenes and weird-ass spots.
Was it just to let you know you were fighting Varen? But that's not like a dramatic reveal. I guess maybe they didn't... No, it was a plot thing because you got like a big X for it, but I don't know. Maybe it was like...
Well, like, maybe it was to tell me that this is where the fucking, the
yeah, the cutscene was like, this is important.
Yeah, because this is what I used to... I'm going to help their food situation with this. Go me.
But you're right. There's some weird cutscene framing in the original map.
Oh, what's down here? Geth? Not surprised.
But yeah, so
covers for bitches.
Got in there a little because I was arguing with chat.
Hello there.
I will say with your Grudge concept, like I think there's room there for like the equivalent of like a thumbs up or thumbs down on an online internet interaction.
What are you doing here?
And if you're and like I said, my statement, if, well, I'm concerned I'll get a lot of thumbs down, then I would be like, well, then you should probably reflect on your behavior. Why do you think you'll get thumbs down?
That was a good one. Very intense.
I think he's freaking out.
What's the matter with you?
Lucky, you phrased it as like a permanent debuff. I would probably go until you die in a streak and reset.
Remind me I'm still alive.
Oh, is this some
only
sort of
during
weird
a
slave
PvP
colony
session?
shit?
Aren't you? You're not the only one interested in those things.
What's the name of this
Who else
planet
is
again?
looking to the Geth?
Pharaoh?
Looking to
Pharaohs?
get rid.
Exogeny?
They're a thorn in the side of the...
Oxygen is the company. I'm trying to remember which.
Trying to get to the...
I mean, I've noticed everyone's all like, you gotta talk to Fan Danny. We can't talk about this. And this dude's literally...
This one is no longer
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I
fit.
remember which one this
You
is.
should leave him.
Is there anything I can
Now
do?
that that's very descriptive, there's a lot of weird fucked up
Want
shit in Mass Effect in general, but in Mass Effect 1, there's a lot of bouncing back and forth. The plot, I feel like a lot of the plot stuff is very related.
I'd rather die fighting.
Fighting what?
But
Not
you
that
do have Mass Effect thoughts.
It's like running through a
If you want,
thorn
do you want to talk about Mass Effect now, or do you want to?
if there's anything you want to
for a
talk
bit.
about right here, I'm...
Time's up.
I mean, if you're busy concentrated on this dialogue tree, I can yell about Battlefield.
Ask him about the...
Company's coming.
Heads up.
Yeah, that guy's just being a freak show. Help you auto-saved. It's very big. But yeah, like, if you want to focus on playing Mass Effect for a little bit, like I said, I can talk about Battlefield. I have clocked in some number of hours. But yeah, so to preface, I mentioned this earlier, one of PS Plus's games this month is Battlefield 2042. It came out like 2 years ago. If you forgot, I'm sure you shouldn't be surprised. I believe it came out to generally very middling reviews. And honestly, having played it a decent amount, I can see why. The game is definitely, in terms of gameplay and stuff, aggressively okay.
aggressively okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this kind of dovetails into the conversation I had about FromSoft earlier. I feel like DICE and Battlefield are really hesitant to kill some darlings in their game design. Though, admittedly, some of the stuff they did kill, but they got away from. For instance, you may have heard there's no specialists or anything in the game. That's actually not true anymore. They added back in the class system because they had like the specialists before who would just have abilities that were class themed, but now they're like, nah, we got your regular class roles back, so you can be assault, engineer, support, whatever. Recon, etc. The classic Battlefield type things before they just had like. Because for some reason, despite the fact this was a game you had to buy for full price, they also have, ye old Battle Pass system as well. So they needed an excuse for how they could keep releasing new characters for you to pay money to unlock. Which is dumb. Seriously, save yourself the game dev time. Make your Battle Pass stuff mostly cosmetic. Like, make it so that I can get a gold-plated MP5. That's where the business is.
Problem solved.
But the actual, like I said, they some stuff they have backpedaled because they tried to be too different, and other stuff they've kind of like always started back there. But overall, actually, before I go on this reminds me, there's a conversation we've had going back and forth. This happened earlier in the week as well on 14. Also to specifically mention, Axe talked about how wondering if it was worse for a game to be mid rather than bad, and we had some conversation about that. I think I crystallized my point on that earlier today. I was thinking about it. When a game is, when you're in that state of hype, hype is expectations, right? It is, you have impressions or expectations of what the final product to be. If you are hyped about something, I think that then it is usually more damaging to your expectations for something to be merely okay than to be abysmally crash and burn bad. Because your expectations are still not met, but also it's harder for you to find something to pick at as to why your expectations are not met, right?
Yeah, makes sense.
And this happens a lot. There's a lot of shit on the internet that nobody can just say anything just sucks and they don't like it anymore. They have to find some moral reason why it's bad, actually.
Mm-hmm.
It's terrible. You can just say you don't like it. It's okay. You can not like things. You can like things and you can not like things, and things don't have to be like a deep commentary on your, personal soul. Sometimes stuff just tickles you. But in general, I think it is usually, if your expectations are low, being mid is all right. I'm reminded of the reviews and conversations about Sonic Frontiers, right?
Right.
Sonic's had some rough games lately. The general critic consensus seemed to be that the game is just pretty all right. But, an actual average, competent, put-together game is an improvement to where Sonic has been over recent entries. So that was actually like, oh, I'm pleasantly surprised. This game is all right. It functions. So I think that there's a point where that mid status, that, average curve, depending on where you thought you might have lied on that side of the bell curve, things can be different. But so Battlefield, right? Definitely very okay. You got all the usual shit, like I said. They re-added the classes. They've given you the specialists, which give you certain unique abilities, and also they all have unique voices and appearances and whatever. Because, I don't know, they're really trying to turn Battlefield into a character-based shooter. I don't know. I have a lot of questions about what the fuck DICE was thinking when they made this game, but there's a lot going on there. Honestly, in general, core gameplay, running and shooting at people, it's Battlefield. It's pretty all right. It's Battlefield. Guys are spongy if you don't get headshots. I'm getting some lag on the stream.
I'm looking for water valves. I think this is it. Here it is.
Computer, we all right?
We are not all right.
There, that did it.
Okay, I caught up.
System is active.
Getting some lag there.
All right, I have gotten things for people. Yay!
Yeah, people love things. Anyway, as I was saying, sorry. Computer got a little laggy there for a sec. Like I said, I generally find a Battlefield, if I remember my plays decently, and I did play some. I played like 3 and 4. I think I got a season pass for 3. So like I've been in this series before. I've done some stuff. And I've tried out DICE's forays into the Battlefront games, which I believe most people agree were not Battlefieldy enough, honestly. They tried way too hard to do weird character shooter arcade shit. I would have much preferred a more hardcore Battlefield type customization. But anyway, I think of enemies, opponents in those games as usually being pretty spongy. You got to actually take a couple of whacks at a guy with a thing. It's not like Call of Duty where they're like, oh yeah, you get a big enough sniper rifle, you get an upper body shot, that guy is just downed. I playing with sniper had to double tap a couple of guys to actually get him to fully fall down, even though I was hitting center of mass. Headshots really count though.
It won't be a problem.
But like they've done a lot of smooth improvements. You've got a wider range of gadgets, including all the classic shit. They made your weapon attachments a free-floating like menu in-game. You just hold triangle and you pull up your attachment menu, and then you can have a default loadout which is just set on the gun, but also you can add stuff to it to just swap whenever you need. You trying to do some sneaky shit? Stick your suppressor on. Did you have your ACOG on for long range? And then now you're in close quarters, switch to like a hollow sight and shit like that. You can switch, different mags for different ammo loadouts for different shit, stuff like that. Is it fucking dark? Put your flashlight on. That kind of stuff, right? Which is good. That's just an improvement to these kinds of games to be like, fuck it, you can just adjust your loadout.
There we go.
Pretty solid. Movement feels pretty good for normal. Shooting, feels pretty fine. I'm playing on controller, but I don't have any complaints about anything in terms of like, sensitivity and stuff. There's a lot of options in there.
Commander, I was told to make my
Goodbye.
I'm deciding where I want to go because I'm going to take a negative turn, chat.
Oh no.
Like I said, I've played a few hours here. I have some complaints. And I want to preface this. I don't have any complaints about like how people are on this game. Like I said, I will another shout out because they don't have any single player content normally. There's no story or anything to like test out and show you systems. But they do have a robust solo/co-op playlist, which does give you partial EXP. Not full EXP, but they call it moderate EXP. So you can still progress your shit playing by yourself against AIs or with friends. So if anybody did pick it up on PS Plus and you want to party up, we can take some whacks at it and see how it plays squad mode-wise. They did add a very Battle Royale style, and I gotta wonder if maybe they intended this game to be a little more Battle Royale-y and they decided to walk back. I don't know. But they have a very classic, like, Apex or Fortnite, call-outs type system. There's a call-out menu. Not only can you spot people like you always can in Battlefield, but also you can be like, hey, I need ammo. Hey, shoot that guy. Get in the car, all on like a convenient button menu and stuff. You can direct people to attack specific points, and when you're playing with the AI, that actually seems to work pretty well for like pushing everything. So like there's some pretty good stuff. So my gameplay complaint is basically where we're always at with Battlefield. It's about vehicles. Chat, they've made 11 billion of these games. How have they not gotten a proper, healthy medium ground for vehicles? So, when you're in a vehicle, you basically have two states. You are an invincible golden god, or somehow you flipped upside down and exploded. There is no in between. You are either the most indestructible motherfucker on the map and nobody can do anything to stop you, or you're fucking Austin Powers parked in a corner and wondering how the fuck you got here, and there is no physical way for this thing to get out of it for some ungodly reason, because all of the vehicles handle like ass. Even vehicles which should actually be like really springy and mobile. Terrible turning. Decent acceleration, and I will say, because the game is so advanced, I'm playing the PS5 version, physics modeling's pretty good. I have found myself able to go up and over obstacles a lot more than you usually can in these kinds of games, so that's a good improvement. But, like, turning is still dog shit. I got in a plane once and immediately slammed into the ground, because of course I did. For some ungodly reason, helicopters can rotate all the way over. Again, yes, I know they can do that in real life, but why is that a function on the controls of this video game? And honestly, it's probably so that vehicles can be balanced, because I gotta say, then there's the other side of this, right? I mentioned how sometimes when you're in a vehicle, you're a golden god. If you're on foot and you meet a vehicle, you fucking die. Doesn't matter what vehicle it is. Basically, the way they've got this spec'd out is, no matter what type of vehicle it is, small arms don't do shit. Which is not, by the way, talking about that apex of realism and you know, what C word did I use earlier? Not comfort, convenience. That's not realistic, by the way. Thin-skinned Humvees and hovercrafts and little birds, if you fire light or medium machine guns at those, you'll end up breaking something. They are not armored. They're made of lightweight shit.
Whoops.
Admittedly, you know, this is 2042, so it's the future. We have M5 carbine.
I'm telling you, even in the future, they're not going to put armor on anything they don't fucking have to.
No, it's all about lightweight, right? We have C5s now instead of C4s. Yes, no, that Russian Badger joke about because I don't make a 46, that's true. Everything is just a real-life gun with a number gone up by, like, 1 or 2. It's very dumb. Honestly, if I want to talk about narrative for a little, whatever the fuck the, like, style of this game, the time period, it's insane. I don't know what they were doing. Like, I think they wanted to set it in, like, the near future so they could have, like, you know, climate control is spiraling out of control and fucking everything up so they could do, like, their giant disasters. But, first of all, those are pretty pointless. Like, there's a tornado in every map or something. The amount of times I have actually seen the tornado, like, move somewhere relevant onto a map and fuck somebody's shit up, very low. There was, like, one map I did in, like, the one tutorial they gave me where a sandstorm came up, and that actually mattered. But every fucking vehicle has a smoke generator, so sandstorms don't matter. It's just so weird, other than, like, your weather effects are really pretty. I did do that one map that I've seen in a couple of, like, preview videos where they have a rocket on it launches, and if you're standing next to it, you will fucking die. That's neat, I guess, but that's just a one-time thing, so... The plot setup, and again, I'm sorry, I'm divesting from vehicles, but this just hit me. Like, it's so silly. So there's no single player, there's no plot whatsoever, except there is because, when you sign in the game, they're like, oh, register your no-pat registry because you're a non-patriot. You're not part of any country. Oh, my God. And every map starts with some little bullshit intro about why you're fighting over this map for some ungodly reason, which doesn't make any goddamn sense. Also, admittedly, the game came out in 2021, so they didn't know. But your only two factions are the U.S. and Russia, which is fucking hilarious. The idea that the Russians would somehow have the logistics in the year 2042 for specific maps to be like, oh, there was an earthquake along the Canada-U.S. border, which unearthed an underground research lab. Yes, this is an actual map. The Russians insist that it is a military facility and are invading the mainland United States and Canada. What?
That would not happen.
No. That's... I get the idea is that they're trying to push for, like, everything in the world is so, like, fucked up and bad and like, bad disasters and famine that, like, everybody is fighting each other. But I just can't take this credibly anymore. It's very non-credible, even. The idea that the Russians are out there, like, force projecting onto the mainland U.S. No, that's silly. They don't have any aircraft carriers. How are they force projecting? Much more realistically, it should be China. But, you know, God forbid China be a faction that you can both play as and fight against in a video game, because that would lose you the Chinese market money.
Yeah, I was
don't
about to
think
say, it's
Battlefield
like, no one's going to make Chinese
2042
enemies, because then China would literally raise a fucking stink.
Yeah, but guess what? They don't play Battlefield anyway, I don't think, because there's also stinky Americans in it doing American things. It might just be that the Chinese don't have any iconic vehicles, and that's their fault. They should really invent some new vehicles that do some shit. Because, like, at the very least, by the way, the vehicle, the thing I talked about, weapons going up, that's also carried over to vehicles. You have, like, something that's like a X-22 Condor, which is like, imagine an Osprey, but we gave it jet engines instead of tilt rotors. That'll make it safer. And, you know, the Russians, instead of a Hind, they have the Super Hind. Shit like that. So there's a little bit of near-future bullshit in it. Some of it's cool. There is a tank, which has a railgun. So you have to, like, charge and hold it to fire. That's actually pretty neat. And that tank has a switch between siege and mobility mode.
I'm not interested in your company.
So when you're in siege mode, You go low to the ground and you open your back panel so you can radiate heat faster, so you can fire your main gun faster. But if you're in mobility mode, you're higher up, you have better torque and better acceleration and shit. Like, that's actually neat. I'm like, oh my god, that's actual like game design choice. But so much of this game is just like, so we have fucking railgun tanks, and then also we just have the F-35E because we don't know what our next jet is. Fucking
shoot this guy?
F-35s. There's no renegade interrupts yet, but you can fight a decent number of people in Mass Effect usually.
No, it's just I usually play pretty strong Paragon. I like being a nice dude. When I find someone annoying, my first thought is like, let me just shoot them. That will give me silence.
See, when you get to Mass Effect 2, usually you can shoot or punch them.
Yes.
It's like the game designers understood what a guy was being annoying, and they're just like, yeah, this guy's being annoying. You want to slap the shit out of him?
I am for helping people with their problems until you start being an annoying little twat about it.
But yeah, like so I said, narratively, Battlefield 2042 makes no sense. This is probably why it seems like they've added a retro mode where you can play the good Battlefield games. They've got like their best maps from like Bad Company, Battlefield 3, Battlefield 1942 and shit. So like they know. So I'm not going to harp on it too much longer, but it's just it's so fucking weird and crazy. Like they tried for near future and then they just don't though. Like it feels like somebody in the design phase couldn't make up their mind. But yeah, so again, talking about things that are not necessarily realistic. Yeah, vehicles are fucking invincible, basically. Small arms fire doesn't do anything. Now, something I have learned through trial and error, thanks to the power of, modern gaming systems and, like, physics engines and shit, they are actually usually pretty good. You can actually shoot people out of open vehicles. So if, like, a Humvee with a Gatling gun on top rolls up and tries to schwack you, you can just be like, hey, motherfucker, you don't have any doors or windshields, and just ice those guys. It takes a little bit of precision work, and obviously vehicles have mucho engagement range on you, but you can shoot people out of them. Covered helicopters, planes, tanks, no, fuck you. You can't do anything. Which, again, as we have seen from the Ukraine conflict, not true. There's so many fucking disabled and dead Russian tanks sitting in Ukraine right now. Now, admittedly, it's Battlefield. They're mixed. I do believe that we've learned some lessons with the Abrams. Those are usually pretty solid. So I get there's some like competitive balancing out there. But still, like, you should have a little more ability to react to armor. And some of this, I think, might just be the usual Battlefield, like, well, you gotta progress, so we're gonna lock some shit behind higher levels. I should actually double check. If they don't have a fucking javelin launcher as a high-level weapon, I will probably quit this game right now. Because obviously, it's Battlefield. I mean, you can snipe some helo pilots.
I'm not that good. Fuck.
If it's like if it's like I said, the Condor or the Super Hind, those are big, bulky. I haven't had any luck picking anybody out of them. Those are like fully sealed up. If it's like a little bird or a small attack helicopter, like an Apache or the Russian I think it's KA equivalent, I think you can get those guys. It's just really hard. Like I said, I've been playing with mostly AIs who tend to fly in predictable patterns, but are just smart enough they won't let you get away with cheap shit. I will say this: the AI is really hit or miss. Like sometimes they're very scary competent and like both on your side and on the enemy side, and other times it's like I'm lying dead on the ground, going like, "Hey, revive me! Hey, I know you can pick me up." Anybody can revive in this game, by the way, not just medics. It's just medics get the defib to do it basically instantly. If you're not a medic, you got to stand there and pull out your adrenaline. But if there's like one guy within line of sight, AI will not stop to heal you. They will stop to shoot at that one fucking guy, even though he's a million miles away. It's really annoying. But like, there's some level of interaction. But like I said, for APCs and tanks and shit, and for like up armored helos and jets, you can't do shit about the pilots. So you're stuck using gadgets. It's Battlefield. You got a lot of those, right? Makes sense. Well, like I said, if they don't have like a multi-purpose launcher later in the game, fuck this game. It's so annoying. You get a recoilless rifle like right at the gate. Cool. An unguided rocket launcher. Neat. You can carry 3 shots. I don't think that's enough to kill a tank. Pretty sure a tank takes 4.
This is why you have to have a friend.
Yeah. Oh, but this is another thing, by the way, the AI is really annoying at. I don't think any of the AI loadouts carry ammo crates, and getting more ammo in this game for anything that's not your primary weapon sucks. They are very nice. Every enemy you kill drops some ammo on the ground that no matter what gun they're carrying, you can use. Nice. Thank you. Convenient. You want grenades or launchers or C4s? Fuck you. You gotta find somebody with an ammo box, which AI never seem to be carrying. And unfortunately, for me, that competes with the slot for the medical box on support, so I prefer to heal myself. Like I said, this co-op mode is entirely versus AI, so if anybody wants to, like, pop in sometime, they're running a double EXP weekend. It's free on PS Plus Essentials, you know. We can try some collab shit. But yeah, like,
I might want to get my
in general, there's some weirdness to this kind of balancing for stuff. I feel like I said, I don't know if they were planning on this being, like, the Battle Royale one, the Battlefield, earlier, and then just backtracked, because, like, I don't know. I feel like there should be, like, more chances to swap your loadout or reload. That's, like, a special gadget you got to equip as a loadout crate to drop. There's, like, no weapon emplacements that I can find. There's no, like, fixed machine guns or mortars or anything like that. And this is why I think vehicles can, like, be either useless or fucking annoying. Like, if you're not with your anti-vehicle kit and you run into a vehicle, you are just fucked. And yes, generally, you're not Solid Snake. You won't win a 1v1 versus a tank. But there are tools to, like, help you take care of that. They do give you, like I said, C5 pretty early. Those pack a pretty decent punch. I have done the classic Jihad strategy a couple of times. Well, not the full, because I don't strap them to my Jeep and ram them into people. But you know what I mean. Like, throw smoke, bum rush a tank, stick 3 C4s to it, blow them up. Usually works. But that's fucking useless versus air vehicles, which, at least for AI who understand how to control them, seem to be really fucking annoying. Okay, it's cool. I'll get out my Stinger missiles. Guess what? Stinger missiles fucking useless versus tanks. And it's the same slot as your C5, so you can't, like, carry both. So, I don't know. It's... For a game that prides itself on having such weird vehicle selection, and I do say weird, by the way, they've got, like, you know, the equivalent of, like, Jeeps. You could unlock fucking hovercraft for some reason. There's, like, multiple different helicopters and you know, APCs. Like I said, there's different kinds of, like, tanks and shit with future tech. Like, they're trying. I think that there's extra vehicles you can unlock through the Battle Pass and premium shit, too.
God, I fucking hate the aiming and fucking powers.
Yeah, power aiming is a little squirrely, if I remember rightly. I think that's something they also clean up for 2.
Oh, they do. Like I said, I'm only playing this game just so I can make sure I have all my choices come
Ducks in a row. Yeah, for 2.
Also, I want to get, you know, fucking bonuses.
Yes, if you carry over your Shepherd, you will get, like, a couple extra starting levels. And some other tie-in shit.
I guess I'm just going to be switching
But
to
also, it
Vanguard.
just makes dialogue better.
Oh, yeah. I'll definitely be switching over to Vanguard, though. Oh, hey.
Well, yeah, you actually get to do the thing that Vanguards are known for. Charge didn't exist in the first game. Remember, the powers in the first game are actually, like, very limited. They're very utilitarian. I think you just did one of the coolest things you can do, which is lift.
Oh, yeah, no, lift is... I live by... Bonk. Listen, I love biotics.
Yeah. It's pretty fun. I've had some combo builds. But, you know, 2 is where they add the cool shit, like Reeve. And I once again will say I am very sad they didn't decide to reactivate the Mass Effect 3 multiplayer. Because that had, you know, ongoing content upgrades. They came up with some creative new biotic powers and tech powers. Like, they had some fun. Anyway, so yeah, Battlefield, like I said, for a game that prides itself on its vehicles, it's so weird that, like, they even, like, I think they have, like, you can disable, like, certain parts, so you can, like, knock out, like, tires or engines or weapons and stuff now. But again, if you don't have the right tools, you can't do anything, and that seems like a wasted chance to, like, hey, guess what? You can shoot tires with you know, small arms.
I thought you were Geth, or one of those
And like I said, I at least think you can't do that because the game doesn't usually give me hit markers when I'm firing at vehicles with my personnel weapons. So yeah, it's a little weird. I really hope, like I said, there's a javelin or something later that gives me, like, a lock-on weapon to deal with vehicles that's just higher level.
I was trapped. I tried
Because,
to get out,
like I
but
said,
it was
fucking,
locked.
you get an AI with an attack helicopter, they will fucking kick your ass. There is not a lot you can do about that.
They don't want anyone else getting access
And again, helos are usually pretty lightweight.
It's very
So,
important
yeah,
I find
it's-
out what
it's-
they're after.
It's a weird one, but it's free. I'm glad it's free. They seem like they put a lot of content to it, but yeah, it's just so much
What is that exactly?
little annoying things. Like, where I'm just like, well,
It's an
I've
ambiguous
died.
life form. Exogeny was studying
Where the
it.
fuck did that guy come from?
What
Oh,
else can you
that
tell
guy
me?
rolled up in a
Right.
tank and schwacked me with an autocannon. That's totally normal.
But not with those geth crawling around everywhere. Look, we need to get
I do
out of
sometimes
here.
wonder if because I'm like I said, I'm playing solo, so I'm the only, player character, if the AI is designed to try and
Powering it.
fight me more than other NPCs. I don't know.
You could follow those cables. There's
Also,
no
as
way.
usual, like I said, to reiterate, vehicle
Tell me about
handling still
yourself.
sucks.
I'm just
um,
a research assistant.
The tank and mobility mode is pretty alright,
Came
but
out with
like,
my mother.
I've gotten boxed into so many corners driving APCs that turn like
These are some
shit.
others from the colony. She's safe
Even
with
like
them.
Jeeps and Humvees that should be pretty spritey can
alive?
get you into some tight turns.
God.
And as usual, even with the fact that they have a flight assist, I have crashed several air vehicles.
See my mother again.
Tell me what you know about the Thorian.
I really don't know. I know it's very old.
But it's like I said, it's weird to see them like they try to make new content and then they like also just like yeah, fuck it, it's just like what we're doing.
Take my ID. Good luck with that.
Yep,
fleet.
Battlefield. I'm very interested to see because Russian Badger did his Modern Warfare 2, the second one, video, and I was about the multiplayer and shit, and I was like, man, that seems fun. That reminded me of that good shit, because that was me back in the day. I got into Modern Warfare 1 too, so I played the fuck out of that multiplayer, and seeing him do like the kill streaks and shit. And you gotta go for the care package. That might have like something big in it. I'm not gonna get 25 kills to attack nuke. I have gone on a couple of really big tears in my history of playing Call of Duty, but it's very rare. I don't count on that shit. I have been tack nuked a couple of times. And just the guy ends the fucking game, but So like that made me want to get back to that, and I might at some point, but there's so many new video games coming out, and at our current state, I don't think I can expect Modern Warfare 2 to end up on PS Plus. I don't know if that's gonna happen right now. Alright, Angry Kroken, got a VI.
Lift. Bitch.
Do you even lift, bro?
Exogeny Corporation reminds all staff that the discharging
But yeah, like that. Like I said, I like shooters. I don't mind playing the multiplayer with people. Though obviously, like I said, I'm very interested in trying and
What
just
information was the last
leveling myself up and figuring out what the fuck this game is about.
fetching data. The
Um,
previous user was
I think they've done some decent, differences. There's like 6 weapon
Tell me
categories.
everything you told the Krogan.
Yeah, because there's every different class has a different focus, but there's assault rifles, SMGs, LMGs. They distinctly broke up marksman rifles and sniper rifles in this game, which is solid. So you can take your pick. I prefer marksman rifles usually because working the bolt on a sniper rifle is a little awkward sometimes.
What does Zeus Hope have to do with
And
the Thorian?
shotguns. I am a little sad. I don't think there is any class that actually has a weapon focus in shotguns,
Tell me everything you
because
know.
engineers is LMGs. But, they're there. They exist. I've only unlocked one pistol, a future Glock so far, but it seems pretty robust. You can, like, stick sights on it. You can get the stendo. That kind of funny shit. Yes, there's lots of skins and cosmetics and stuff to unlock. It's funny, but I don't... I like having a cool drip in a multiplayer shooter, Like, if I do get a kill, I want to have the fucking sick player card where there's, like, a pinup babe hugging a giant mecha, or a skeleton smoking a cigar. Like, that's cool. But I know that I'll unlock cool shit, so that just usually doesn't affect me. Like, I'm not all about it. I'm just like, that's neat.
What can you tell me about the Geth ship and the field?
What's this? I can get a flaming dragon mouth on my Titan in Titanfall 2. Fuck yeah, let's do that. What's that? You want me to pay real money to like paint it, neon blue? Nah. I'll just find whatever shit you got unlockable. It's cool.
We need to find that ship. Let's get moving.
But yeah. So Battlefield, it exists. Kind of.
Kind of.
I'll see what they do they do actually get out there. Oh shit, Bertram is going to 1.0 next week.
Oh shit.
Oh, that's supposed to be the faction overhaul. Axel finally gets their talent tree.
I will approach the glowing orb.
The Geth used
Big
Orb.
glowing orb.
their ships to the sides
I was actually gonna wonder if we were gonna play some Barotrauma tonight, but I haven't heard from Loth today, and I know that you already agreed to the boys to do some more 14.
Well, like I said, Axe just wants to help with the twinning, but
We can check
Yeah.
the other claws for weakness.
I mean, I still got some stuff to do. I might pop in. I still need. I need a lot of storm seals. Well, not a lot. I can hold 40,000. I only need 9,000, of which I think I have 4,000 after last night's getting. It's just, Chad, it's very funny. I have to get all the way to second lieutenant to be able to also pay 300,000 gil to get a room in the free company house. So there's a little bit of extra farming involved.
you know. But Axe said he wanted to help with the twinning. I guess I've been working on the house because ooh, orb. Because
Design thoughts.
Yeah, no. Alter said they wanted to turn the side room into a trophy room, so I've been assembling some trophies. I also went on a crafting bench to get us some sick marble floors and plush walls.
Nice. So, by the way, yes, this means, chat, it's only been 3 days? 4 days? No, 3. I think since Wednesday. Today's Saturday. So it's been 3 days since you last saw the house on a stream. It's already, I won't say completely different because the fundamental floor plan hasn't changed, but things are going to be significantly different by the time we get to next week's stream.
Yes. I forget, did we put the chaos of me trapping everyone in the house on stream?
Yes, that was at the end of the stream.
Okay.
You were like, okay, you guys got to see this. So they saw the house trap and the various shenanigansing.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good. But no, 14's going strong, like I said. Like, we'll do the twinning. Loth, I believe, has their meat space game.
Yeah, I think he's got Pathfinder today. Or today Gym Day.
No, today's his Pathfinder day.
Yeah.
So, but honestly, I don't know when he's gonna get back from that.
We'll figure it out. I haven't heard from him, so
should be
usually he
back.
checks in.
Yeah, he'll check in. But no, I'm gonna be down for some Barotrauma. I've been keeping an eye on Project Zomboid as well, for whenever that gets done. But
They're working on a big update that we're waiting for.
yeah, they said we are nowhere near the imminent release date. So I'm still expecting several months before that gets
sounds
out.
about right. Listen, game updates take a while. Haven't heard anything out of Phantom Liberty in a while.
True.
still
Something
waiting.
I am excited about that they dropped suddenly on people is Stellaris will be doing their First Contact DLC next Thursday. They dropped the trailer last Thursday saying 1 week, and I'm like,
Yep.
I do like Stellaris. That is my 4X of choice right now. I think I like it more than Civ. I think Civ is easier for me to drop in and out of, but it's Stellaris I put in the long games for, like the long games.
Civ is more accessible. Stellaris is definitely like more viewable and customizable. Like Stellaris games are truly randomized. I don't feel like Civ games are randomized. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yes, I usually do random leaders, and that sometimes affects what kind of stuff I'm going up against. But usually it's like, okay, where did I spawn? What do we got? We just work with the stuff. And then it's you pick your route and you stick to it. Stuff doesn't really get super chaotic.
So I'm excited about that First Contact overriding the 14th, you say. Was it sooner than I thought? Is it Tuesday?
A little earlier than you thought.
Oh wait, did the trailer come out Tuesday? And it was next Tuesday. I can't remember. Like I said, I remember that they posted the video and the release date was a week from the video. And that the fucking day probably had a fucking T in it. And the word and the
day ending in Y.
Yes. Where am I going? This way. Hello, everybody.
Hello, boys. Bang, bang, yes.
All right, let me see here. But oh,
He's downloading.
getting the secret data.
Sorry, I'm taking a water. I'm a little warm today. I had to go outside. Wasn't actually too bad outside. It was pretty cool in the shade, but I had to hike up to my mailbox to get my copy of Ishin, which arrived today.
Yay! Join the club.
Yeah. So yes, Chad, that does mean I did finish Judgment.
Same as before. We don't
And I
have
can
enough
talk
weapons
about it,
to blow
but
this claw.
I don't know.
Let's keep looking.
I know Lucky has some more narrative Mass Effect thoughts to get out, but he's also doing Mass Effect narrative, so
Look at that lad.
nope. We're certainly interspacing comments.
Yeah.
Yep, Geth.
So,
Sorry.
I guess I can get out some of my Mass Effect thoughts. Like, again, I've kind of mentioned this before. Like, the only reason I'm playing Mass Effect 1 is so I can get Mass Effect 2 bonuses and have story decisions. Otherwise, I probably would not have bothered with this game.
It may be helpful. If we can dislodge even one claw, shipmate.
Sorry, I was just watching that Geth continually trying to shoulder check you.
Yeah, I know,
but it
you're
wasn't
just-
working for him or you. Okay,
But,
buddy.
like, there's a lot of things that I don't like about Mass Effect 1. Like I said, I'm not a fan of the combat. Like, my fucking ability bar, I can't actually adjust these fucking markers. They're just, I feel like they've just been thrown wherever, and I hate it. Like, the only thing I can do is I can hit map, and that puts one of my abilities on a hotkey. I have barrier because guess what? I use a lot of fucking barrier. I don't use cover. I just go straight for him. Actually, I probably could use a shotgun. I should probably, you know what? Let me use my shotgun. Because I'm running Sentinel, and Sentinel gets no fucking weapon bonuses, so it doesn't actually fucking matter what weapon I'm using. I mean, I kind of get pistol from Bastion, because that's the one I picked, but it doesn't matter. In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter. But I do not like combat. Oh, hey. I do not like combat. The combat, it's very weirdly clunky. Like I said, AI's weird. Your AI's weird. Oh man, I'm just getting all the dirt here. The equipment is really weird. Like, let me just show it off. Like, I have the shotgun here. I have the Spectre Master Gear here, which I like because it's black. Black is cool. But like, I have all these other shotguns that these are just the ones I picked up here because before I left the Normandy on here, I literally emptied out my inventory. Well, not literally emptied out, but I got rid of everything like I think 6 and below, just because I knew I would just keep getting more shit. Actually, I should put some upgrades.
I don't even know what you would call this style either, because it's not quite like there's no like rarity or anything, so it's not like a Diablo, right? But there's a fuck ton of different stuff with very, very slight differences, and you know, they all have different names. They have slightly different models, but often not that different.
Tungsten, here we go.
I know this is the first thing that blew me away the first time I played this, because I, never played the original one until Legendary Edition. I started with 2 all the way. They have those little, like, you got your mod markers, but they talk about, like, some of the manufacturers and stuff for things.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, they're trying really hard to make these distinct, but they're not really that distinct. And then I think 2 does it a lot better, where everything has a fairly unique model, or if they have a similar model, it's on purpose, right? Because they're supposed to be related designs, and they much more clearly define, giving you a reason to do anything with them, right? Like,
oh, interesting.
These feel a lot like just like, oh, well, just pick whatever has the biggest number for me, and then if they don't have bigger numbers, you figure out which one has the bigger number you like.
Let's see, 13.
And it's very clunky. You pick up a lot of shit.
Let's see here. Math.
I don't even think it's been so long because there's no Legendary Edition of that, but I'm trying to remember how the original not Mass Effect, Dragon Age worked. That had weapon-like quality and rarity, though. It wasn't quite like a Diablo-style looter, but you had a couple different tiers of stuff you would work through.
It was 31 to 34, right? See, that's 20. So that'd be 28. So
puzzles. Is this the filled tank puzzle? Just as long as it's not Towers of Reverse Eye.
no. Did I read that wrong? Hang on.
I will also
Oh, okay,
say,
I get it. I know what I did wrong. Okay, never mind.
he's got it.
I
was also
was
gonna say-
I was doing it wrong, right? But I was expecting it to do it automatically. I didn't think I had to actually fucking hit the because then it's gonna do
So
this.
you set it and then fire it off. But I will also say this: the first game also has a weird thing with like class identity, right?
Mm.
Like we talked about this, Vanguards don't actually get their secret Vanguard. You know, they don't have charge or their unique abilities. So, what does Vanguard even do in one? It's just you get
pistol, shotgun, and like a few biotic abilities.
yeah, you get a mix of biotic abilities and like
The field barring the
soldiery type
enemy.
combat abilities, but they're not really that distinct yet.
Creature.
No, like
I hope that ship was full of those Geth bastards.
Talia, I'm gonna make you make up with Legion and the Geth and too. Don't you worry.
I repeat, Normandy to shore party. Are you reading? Anyone there?
I'm so sad Legion's recruitment mission is like
Commander, talk to me.
a plot thing. And it's the literal last one before you leave, because there's so many funny interactions you can get to in the code, but that means you gotta like fuck around with the suicide mission and miss shit.
They're freaking out.
They can't do any real damage. We're on our way back. Just hold your position.
Yeah, okay. Well, we'll just wait right here for
Like
you.
if you do Tali's loyalty mission with Legion, it's so
Together and we'll get out of here as
crazy.
one piece.
everybody freaks the fuck out, and you're just like, don't worry, he's with me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
How
planning
can
on
we
doing
trust
that.
you, Shepard Commander?
Legion's a good boy.
Well, because I said so.
But so I'm not a fan of the combat in this game, and like you said, the identity is not a thing. All the classes are just, you know, picked and chosen from just the big list of abilities. Like soldier just gets all weapons and like maybe like I think it was like fitness and some other things and all that stuff. Biotics just get all the biotic abilities, but then if you pick like Vanguard, you get like maybe half the biotic abilities, and then pistols and shotguns and stuff. And if you actually put a lot of time into this game, it doesn't even matter, because I believe if I remember correctly, you can pick up extra fucking ability trees like every time you play, so you can just start being whatever, so your class identity doesn't really fucking matter. And like I can see like here, I've been playing Sentinel for this one just because I wanted just to have biotics, but I also wanted to have decryptions and electronics just right off the bat, so I wouldn't be able to, so I can get it up to master and not miss any items, because you have to unlock things.
Yep, because that's another thing is they did not quite like, you know, whatchamacallit, not quite like, there's out of combat abilities you got to spec into. It's not quite like an immersive sim, but it definitely feels like it's got some of that.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I'm looking at the list of Mass Effect 1 talents. So like, you've got combat. There's 2, which is assault training and fitness. There's the 4 weapon trees.
How the fuck do I get out of here?
There's 3 armor trees. Tech is decryption, electronics, hacking, and damping. And then there's 6 biotic abilities: barrier, lift, singularity, stasis, throw, and warp. There's 2 health abilities: first aid and medicine. And then there's your charm, intimidate, and specter training trees. As opposed to what they did later, which was, you know, they added, you know, you don't necessarily need as many points in charm or intimidate specifically, because you actually like level up.
Sorry, Lucky's being dumb. I can't remember how I got in here, and I'm not entirely sure how I'm getting out.
Is there a mini map in Mass Effect 1?
There is, but I think I'm missing. Yeah, because there was the shuttle bay control doors. Was it under here?
And then in 2, they changed it to powers, which is, you know, more fiddly, but actually very distinct, because then it's just like...
Oh, I'm dumb. Here we go. Lucky sees a wall and does not realize that there was a passage there. He just saw a wall. This way? Maybe? I'm lost.
Oh, also Legendary Edition.
Server node.
So apparently, the original Mass Effect 1, you could only reach 50 in the first game, and then you had to do subsequent playthroughs to get higher.
Oh,
You could
really?
go straight to 60 in this game, in Legendary Edition.
Well, technically it's 30, but they basically will treat you as 60 in the in 2. So if I'm at the thing, yeah, I'm at yeah, I'm like 9 levels from max, I believe. It makes sense. I've only been getting 2 skill points instead of 4 for a couple. I probably will start putting points into stasis, probably. My decryption and electronics is a fucking master already, so I don't have to worry about that. And I do not take damage. My barrier just sees to that. All right, I'm fucking
Levels 1 through 5 are 3 points per. Level 6 to 35 is 2 points per. Level 36 to 60, 1 point per. I don't know if they respect that all. You can fiddle with the leveling as well.
Let's see here. Oh,
But yeah, the talent system, as you buy more points and talents, you unlock, new active abilities and shit that level up, but also they do other things. Like for instance, the assault training is just like level 1, 30% melee damage, 1% weapon damage, and it scales up.
I think the only time I have hit someone with melee is when I decide to beam Matriarch Benizia over the head.
It's very funny.
There you are. We should get
I mean,
out
also
of
you're
here.
playing Mass Effect 1, so when you're a
I need some answers. You knew more about the
Vanguard
than
in
you
2,
let
you'll
on.
probably no guarantee, but I feel like when I played Vanguard, there's a decent amount of just as much slapping people as you do fucking shotgun them. But also you have access to cyborg upgrades in Mass Effect 2, so you can do a lot of melee damage. Yeah.
never meant for this to happen.
I believe you.
You could. I'll help them if you can tell me where to find the Thorium.
When you've got muscle grafts and
Thorium's
robot
underneath
bones.
Hughes Hope, but the entrance is blocked. The colonists covered it with the freighter just before.
Honestly, I think that's how they handled it with
Why
2
not
and
go
onward.
after the Thorium?
They decided to just
Like
split your
Sarah
active
did.
abilities into the new powers and make that the majority of your level ups, and then
That's
side
what
shit
Exogenous
you would get through like other talent trees. It's just like,
Come in.
yeah, you can just buy Shepard
What is it,
upgraded
Joker?
blood, so you have more health.
Com chatter. Looks
Who
like
doesn't
you're
like
on your
upgraded
way.
blood? Blood
Thanks for
2.0.
the heads up, Joker.
I like how I looked up to the sky when I said thanks for the heads up.
I'm coming with you. I might be able to help. Undo the mess I helped create.
It's a decent, like obviously these games are pretty old by gaming standard tech-wise, but there's some decent effort in the modeling and rigging.
Oh yeah, sometimes it looks a little weird and jank, but it's not the worst.
Yeah.
All right, let's get the fuck out of here. Oh, there's my Mako. All right. Did I go in here? Lucky's greatest weakness is I never remember what I did 5 minutes ago, and I constantly going back and like, did I do this? I hate this specifically on planets where I'm driving around hitting anomalies, and then I look back and it's like, there's no indication whether I've hit an anomaly or not. So it's just like, have I been here?
Yeah.
Like in general, the fucking open plains areas, I hate.
Well, there's a reason why they go away.
Yeah, no, like honestly, if they decide to make them kind of silly, like I could have had a lot more fun. Like if they turned down fucking gravity, so anytime you just go off a thing, you just go whee. I would have loved them. You know, I would just spend time just trying to blast my way up mountains and just getting as much air as possible because that shit is fun. But no, we have to like literally like scale mountains on a semi-regular basis to get fucking I leveled up to get these fucking resource nodes, which are tracked, which gives me the OCD because I don't like the fact that there's things that I'm missing.
Yeah, and just in general, it's like
Die.
they're not really that like different. Like there's not okay, this one is green with grass and this one is, gray and dusty because it's a moon. You're wearing a helmet all the time, it doesn't fucking matter, They didn't really do any like weird environmental effects. They probably could have diversified them better, but I'm also kind of glad they decided to just fucking streamline it for 2.
Yeah.
Like obviously people can say what they want about how Mass Effect has some rough bumps with the content, and like there was a pretty clear, and you might notice some of the things if you go straight from 2 to 3 while playing Legendary Edition. There's some dropped plot points that are a lot more obvious that way because there wasn't several years of game development then. But in general, I think BioWare did a thing that game designers should be willing to do and should enjoy more, which is just like, okay, people liked our game, but there's some parts that like were kind of clunky and that, you know, probably got some middling reviews and stuff, and like there's some shit we could streamline better, and they seem to have acknowledged a decent amount of that, and you know,
Hang on, I need
done
a
it.
moment.
What's going on?
It's got to do some dialogue.
Get her out of here!
Get away from her, you son of a bitch!
Because there's a lot of dumb shit on this planet.
Damn it! Come out where I can see you, all of you.
I'm gonna shoot this man. That is my I'm gonna shoot this man face.
Damn it! I knew it was too much to hope the Geth would kill you. I found some interesting facts about you in the exogenic.
Well, I'm
database.
done hiding,
I
so
know
it's
what you're
time I
doing to
saddle
Price,
on up.
But your heroics aren't needed here.
We can talk this out. Nobody needs.
This is your one chance to be reasonable.
You don't understand. It's not that easy. Communications are back up. Exogenic
Don't
wants
freak
this
out.
place purged.
This
Or
is
I'ma
a
shoot you.
human colony, John. You can't just repurpose us.
It's not just you. There's something
good old
here
masher.
far more valuable than a few colonists.
You're after the one unique thing Pharos has, the thorium.
The what?
It's a telepathic.
Well, like he's
life
doing a
form
dialogue
living
tree.
in
Hold
a
on, I'm gonna go
physical-
open my window.
It's
Yeah,
a
sorry. It's like I'm
control
silent because I'm invested in plot.
Jenny knew all along.
Like,
You won't get away with this, Jong.
oh, I'll wait
So
till
you
Megan
keep
gets back.
saying, but nobody's gonna miss a few colonists.
Oh, do I not have the fucking? Okay, hang on 1 second here. Oh, I didn't level up and get my max charm, son of a bitch.
I won't let you hurt these.
If that's the way it has to be.
As if we don't
Come
have
on,
enough
come
money.
on.
So what now, Commander? The colonists won't let you near the Thor.
Like a gas grenade.
How can it hurt to try?
I'm not.
All right, hang on. Let me go to load. Oh wait,
Okay.
is this before my fucking?
Eyes back.
Oh, you serious? God damn it! It saved before I could fucking. Ah! Oh!
Save.
It saved immediately after I did this fucking choice when I didn't want to fucking do it.
Yeah. That's Mass Effect, baby.
And my other one is 2 hours ago.
That's Mass Effect, baby.
Like, this is why I like games that have multiple autosave slots.
Sadly, I'm pretty sure the original Mass Effect is a little before that became in vogue, but yeah. No, multiple autosaves is cool.
Fuck it, I'm
Or
going
just
all the
too
way
much
back.
damage. All right, he's going back. Hey, it happens. That would be pre-stream. This is back with the monkeys?
This is back with the monkeys.
I thought so. Fucking pie-jacks. I will say this. I think this is... It's not a guarantee, but I think a lot of these style of Western RPGs are kind of like that, because you were talking about, like, sorry, I need a minute, we're doing dialogue and stuff. Like, I think Fallout is very similar, and Mass Effect is definitely this way, where you can basically be like, when you're doing gameplay stuff, you're just cruising, you're schmooving, you don't really need to focus on it too much. But then obviously when you get to a dialogue box, it's like, hold on, I have to like read and understand what's going on here. Because you're going to tell me to do something that I'm not going to remember later, or you're going to like yell at me about something and I'm going to have to kill you. Lots of in-depth stuff.
Or do I just, you know, I'll just fucking live with it. They gave me the anti-thorium grenade. Yeah, it's fucking whatever. Whatever. I wanted to get more fucking points, but God, it's 2 fucking hours.
And already Shepard begins to make moral compromises. That's another thing I don't miss from 1. The charm and intimidate fix, where they just like, no, you just get renegade and paragon scores, and then if your cred is high enough, you can do the options.
Okay.
But I think BioWare's wheel-based dialogue technology was probably at its greatest in Dragon Age 2. They did a lot behind the scenes to make that work out there. The anti-thorium gas level 1.
Any luck finding my workstation?
I managed to find the data.
That's very
It wasn't too difficult.
Well, thanks again, Commander.
Sorry, Chad. I'm adjusting to being a little dried out. Like I said. It's
Like I
hot
said, I
today.
thought
think
I'd like
it's
the
magic.
autosave wouldn't like proc fucking immediately after that, so I wouldn't save all that. So I just picked a bunch of bullshit answers just to get through a conversation, and now I don't even know what I fucking said to these people. God, I hate it so much.
Yeah, the game doesn't necessarily telegraph when it's like, hey, here's a story choice coming up. It's saving right after those. Sorry, yawning. I'm getting over my stuff. Get my juice back. Okay. So, let me double check my notes real quick. Scratch that off. Oh, yeah, we haven't talked about the Capcom Spotlight at all. It was pretty good. Capcom do good. They're doing pretty good this year.
I don't know, a lot of people saying it's good, but I don't really feel like they've actually like talked about anything. They just reiterated a bunch of points that they already fucking have.
I mean, it's true. I don't think there are many new announcements in that stream. Honestly, I think that's just kind of the point they're at is like, and press in general is very interesting with video games, right? Sometimes you're here for new reveals, sometimes you're here for updates, right? I don't remember if Capcom said if this was supposed to be a lot of like brand new stuff. Oh boy, it's these assholes.
What was that creature? It certainly wasn't human.
No hitting the colonists, even if the Thorian makes them fire. That's what the gas grenades are for.
Wow, they really did just make you climb all the way out of the Mako just to shoot that one guy.
Yes. 16 colonists alive. Oh.
Look how gross that guy was.
Oh, I guess I have to open. This one isn't automatically opening, I guess.
No, there's a big green button. We needed a reason for you to get out of the car and shoot that guy. But yeah, like, it's true, I don't think there was a lot new there, but in general, I think there's still new information about games that are coming out,
I am
right?
getting covered in something.
Yep. Poison, I think, technically, because your health bar is glowing green. How are those guys melting you through a kinetic barrier? Don't ask me.
At least I got the fucking gas grenade, I suppose.
Yep. Knocks those boys right out. But I think they covered a decent spread of stuff. Some of it is, more exciting than others. Like, I think the only thing they had for Street Fighter was, they talked about another color commentator, which is a cool feature to get real-life people in the community to, like, do color commentary in-game, but also I'm not really in the fighting game community, so I don't know who the fuck any of these people are, right?
Right.
So it's neat, but it doesn't really tell me anything. There was some... They had a couple of game developers out to talk about some stuff, so, like, Mr. Famous developer, one of the big developers for Battle Network, actually showed up to be like, hey, here's some more features we got. They actually talk about they're adding all the plus codes and extra shit that was, some of which was Japan exclusive to the full version of the game. All of which is, like, optional and turn-onable. They've got a Mega Buster Max feature to, like, really ramp up the damage your default Mega Buster does, so it'll make the games quicker to play. Which is good, because those games are long and bulky. Some of them were so long that they had to cut the content from the shit, and I think they confirmed later that they're adding back in all that cut content as well, so. In general, that game's being handled very well. they, you know, announced an open beta test for Exoprimal and a release date and stuff. But the open beta, I think, is a good idea and will probably be pretty interesting because looking at trailers and shit, and the more they keep talking about whatever this game is about, the way I phrase it is Exoprimal seems like a video game-ass video game. Like, it has the kinds of plot points and weird nonsense that only video games really like to hit on. Because there's, like, time travel, and there's, like, you know, all the side characters, whatever the fuck your weird exosuit squad is like really weird. There's a robot girl in there I didn't notice before. You know, there's a big burly black dude. There's the guy with the glasses and the robot hand. There's the redheaded chick. Like, there's all kinds of different weird, you know, very unique character designs and stuff going on. Every time they do anything that remotely resembles talking about the plot, I am so lost. It's like, you've been sent back in time for the war game, but why have you been sent back in time for the war game that is a simulation but also is very real? Your sister is alive in the past, boss man. I'm like, what? Huh? What? Like, I'm sure it makes logical enough sense when there's a, like, 15-minute cutscene that explains all of this stuff at the start of the game, but they haven't showed that cutscene, so I don't understand any of this shit. I just know that there's dinosaurs, and there's time travel, and there's exoskeletons, okay? But so, an open beta test to probably do some networking and to play test some shit. I'll probably check that out, just because I'm very interested in how this game plays, because I think Exoprimal could be fun with friends if it actually plays good. The story seems like it's nonsense, but it's very video gamey nonsense.
I love how they're like, yeah, you can use these grenades to knock out... Oop. There we go, more grenades. Just what I fucking needed. Okay.
Yes, the way they do grenades in this game is bad. Very annoying.
But, like, yes, you can use these grenades to knock them out. I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna need a supply of fucking grenades then. Alright, one for you. There you go. Enjoy that shit. Tasty.
I do like
and look,
how you're
some
so
of them don't even go down, even they just fucking took a goddamn gas grenade to the goddamn face. Ugh. Combat's bad, okay?
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck was up with the hitbox in that third one.
Oh, no, it's been doing this the entire... This is why I never fucking use grenades, because they're fucking... What they consider a hit is so arbitrary.
Yeah, they really refixed that a lot also in the second game.
All right. No colonists were harmed in the making of this scene. Also, why me, a military-ass man, can only sprint for like 10 seconds before I am tired?
Video games, man. Also, though, I will... Yeah, it's very funny to see all this you know, stuff they got going on together. You gotta throw the grenades and the shit and your little tiny sprint. But, well...
I'm supposed to be their leader. These people don't trust me. It wants me to stop you, but
Can I shoot the gun?
I won't!
Okay, 15 colonists alive. Oh no, still 16. Guess you weren't a colonist. You lied. Is his body out there somewhere? No? Alright, whatever.
I gotta go under the water tank. Deal with more alien bullshit.
Let's go, crew. The best crew, Tali and Garrus.
It's very solid.
Very tech heavy, but I live with it. Renegade 0, Paragon 32. Interesting.
Because you didn't kill anybody.
That was the point. Alright, you Thorian.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's very funny, like, how obviously that is supposed to be like a challenge and a choice, but you've got so many points in barrier that it really didn't matter.
It did not.
All right, we just need to find
I saw you just fucking eating shots for breakfast.
What is that?
That's large.
That does not look like any plant I've ever seen. This may be problematic.
I love one of your lines is just, well, that's just great. Well, it doesn't weigh a couple 100 pounds, though.
It doesn't.
He's wearing form-fitting body armor, which is made of, like, future composites, and carrying, like, 2 guns, which compact easily.
Yeah, no.
Shepard is not actually carrying that much shit compared to modern soldier stuff.
Yeah.
Also,
I'm not wearing a fucking rucksack. You
Yeah,
forget,
you don't
like,
have a
military
rucksack or
usually
anything.
carries, like, fucking a lot of shit. So don't you fucking at me. You don't know what you're talking about, Dennis Cordell.
yeah, like, Shepard is not carrying a full kit. Also, hey, guess what? I'm pretty sure, well, I've never done it myself, I'm pretty sure that is the point of PT, is so that you can actually, if you need to, hoof it for more than, like, 2 seconds in your full kit. You don't want to do that because it sucks, but part of the whole regimenting process is that if you need to get your ass somewhere, you will. I'll destroy you. God, I forgot how fucking spicy some of the Renegade style lines are. Anyway, the Thorian fucking sucks.
This Asari just seems very aggressive. Just a looking, just, you know, they got the chin down, the eyes up, brows kind of furrowed. Here, it's like, damn.
I won't let you keep your thralls.
It's because she's like a weird mouthpiece clone.
This is the second time I've seen a fucking Asari being used as a mouthpiece here.
It's almost like Mass Effect has some kind of underlying current about things using other things as puppets.
Well, I tried to be nice, but now I'm just gonna have to violence things.
I'm actually pretty sure you're forced to not do that because, as I said, the Thorian fucking sucks.
Shotgun.
Arachnite Queen, she cool. Thorian, fucking space it.
Oh, hey, what's this? I'm still doing the thing where I try to reload and I throw a grenade.
Yeah, there's no reloading. Don't worry, buddy. The beauty of Mass Effect 2, you'll be able to reload thermal clips. And also, you don't throw grenades like that anymore. Actually, I think they waited until 3 to reintroduce grenade powers.
Oh, that'll be exciting to get back to. Let's see what's going on here.
In 2, you just have your shooty bang bang type ability, but in 3 they actually give you Omni grenades, which are a type of command you can use. Listen, we had to change it up. We had to spice it up. We had to throw in some Asari biotics to try and kill you.
I suppose that's fair. The Storm 7, the Armageddon 8, the Avalanche 8. These are the most gun-ass, I mean, not gun names I've ever seen.
Yeah. Again, 2 gets better about that because they also start to give them, like, designations. Like, some are obviously brand names, but also others are, like, you know,
Silence brand.
called for things. But yeah, I think the only other, like, crazy shit, I mean, Capcom's got a lot of good games they've mentioned coming out in the spotlight, and they had a few hard and fast release dates in there. Some of them I will not be hitting. Like, I think Ghost Trick, the Ghost Trick remaster comes out like a week or like a week and a half after Final Fantasy 16. Don't know if I'm gonna have time for that right away, but
probably not.
You know,
I do want to get it
cool.
though.
Yeah, I mean, then they busted out Shuta Kumita. Actually talked about it. Ace Attorney Boy. It is true. Every Asari is biotic, and they do have like telepathic powers. Maybe that does mean they're on open Wi-Fi.
That sounds believable.
Asari brains are just unsecured. We've been around for 10,000 years, Shepard.
Actually, that is something else I forgot I wanted to talk about fucking Mass Effect. Because previously when people were talking about Mass Effect, a lot of people were like, yeah, Ashley's just so racist and stuff. And I remember when I played it, I never really felt that way. And then I realized when I played it, I realized why. Because I kind of just consider humanity in general in this game kind of space racist. Just in general. Like fucking everyone's all like everyone you're talking to is all like, yes, you're a Spectre, but you're a human first. You know, you're gonna put the Alliance first, right? And it's all like, Commander, we can't trust these aliens on our ship, Commander. I'm just all like, guys, I thought we're supposed to be part of some sort of galactic community here. It's like, Like, unless you guys forget, I'm pretty sure less than 50 years ago, I'm pretty sure we're still having a problem with fucking racism. We probably still are having a problem with racism, but we got aliens now to discriminate against now. It's not so important. But, like, I think that, like, the only people that, like, I think are pretty fucking neat, like, in the main cast is, like, Anderson. Anderson's like, I don't care, Shepard. We just need to get shit done. We can't let Saren go, Shepard. I can't do a fucking Anderson voice. I'm not good at that. Oh, this was before.
My best attempt would probably require Halo quotes.
Yeah. But, like, so, oops. So seeing, like, you know, like, just in general, like that was the thing.
And I think some of that is the game is supposed to be, like you said, you know, you say a lot of people do be like, well, Shepard, you're gonna, you know, put in a good word for the humans, right? Like, some of that I think is supposed to be some elements of, like, the choices of the game, right? Because obviously, like, you can choose to be more pro or anti council or whatever. But yeah, it's definitely like, it's the first game in a brand new IP. I feel like they maybe they wanted to go a little ham on certain things to get out there, because, like, despite the fact that you are more directly working with Cerberus in 2 is a lot less in your face about it for most of your supporting cast.
Yeah. Man, I love shotguns.
Also, to be fair, no, we had a war with the Turians before. The other council racers didn't get involved. Probably
Listen,
for the
now,
better
like-
for us,
like-
because the Solarians probably would have, like, poisoned Earth or something.
Like, I'm not saying, like, the council races or most of the other races are pretty cool. I mean, the Elcor are cool. The Elcor are cool. Fuck, if anyone harms an Elcor, I'm murdering them. But, like, the Asari are definitely have the attitude of mommy knows best, and the Turians are like daddy knows best. And you say, we mentioned this, the fucking Solarians just are like, I'm the fucking smartest person in the room. Clearly, you should listen to me.
They're the smart. They think they're the smartest person in the room, and also because they are such a weak little nerd race, they are, like, actually the most likely to pull out a knife and just shank somebody. That is, like, their thing. Their thing is, like, yeah, we don't have any fucking standing military force at all. We have the scariest wetworks guys in the universe, and we are not afraid. There are 12 of them in this room right now. Can you spot all the Solarian Black Ops?
No, but, like, and, you know, there's the other roads, like, the other races. Like, apparently we had this conflict with the Batarians and... Oh, more clones? Because the
the Batarians are, like, placed to be, like, I think they're supposed to be, like, the dark mirror of humanity, because they're, like, relatively pretty similar in terms of physical capability, other than their 4 eyes thing.
Right? Are you hurt?
And shit like that. But also, their society, like, super double sucks. The Batarian hegemony, like, openly has, like, a caste system and slavery and shit. Like, they're bad. They suck.
Yeah.
So did I. Benezia foresaw the
Hell, in 3, the Batarian weapons, we joked about the war crimes and shit. Remember how I talked about how the harpoon rounds were cut from Mass Effect 1?
Yeah.
Yeah, Batarian guns in Mass Effect 3 are the harpoon guns.
Oh.
Like, yeah, no, like, they're the guys with, like, the fucking Omni-Tool crossbows and shit. Like, it's bad enough when you shoot a guy full of polonium. Sure, that has you know, purpose against some of this shit. You know, there's some tough motherfuckers out there. Krogan probably don't care about no polonium.
No.
Rex is like, Shepard, I eat polonium on my cornflakes. Rex, you put radioactive isotopes on your cornflakes? Of course. How else do you get the flavor?
That sounds like a Rex thing. Well, actually, he wouldn't even say that. He'd just be like, yeah.
Yeah, be like, I mean, yeah, it's canonical that Krogan alcohol, you know, kills most people. I think you can only drink it in 2 after all your cyborg upgrades, and then if you have like 2 glasses, you pass the fuck out. But like, yeah, there's the Batarians are just like, their weapons are all like, fuck you and fuck your friends. But also we take slaves. We have net guns. Ugh. But yeah, no, we have a thing going on with the Batarians because they don't give a fuck about the council either, and so they're always like, tickling our outer system
Why did
colonies.
Sarah need it?
Yeah.
The beacon on Eden Prime gave you visions, but the visions
But,
are unclear, confusing.
Like I enjoy, like the story, like the overall story of Mass Effect. I enjoyed. Like I enjoyed 1, and I enjoyed 2 when we started being more morally ambiguous. I guess I want to say, especially because you know the Council's all like, "Oh, the Reapers aren't a threat," and Shepard's like,
Everybody knows that conversation. Ah, yes, Reapers. And I'm pretty sure you could smack the Turian Counselor a couple of times because of that.
Think like a Prothean. How?
Oh, what's that about the Reapers, buddy?
It cannot be described or explained.
like I don't know if this is gonna happen in Mass Effect 3, but if there is a "I told you so" button, I'm hitting it every single fucking time.
Oh, Loth just showed up to talk about getting an ad for the twinning, so.
Oh, okay,
he'll be
cool.
around. Maybe
So
we can play
yeah.
some Barotrauma later.
Yeah. Oh, what time is it right now? 6:05. Yeah. But
Yeah.
like I said, also I do want to say this. Like I said, I made my Shepherd black because you know I'm sick of seeing white Shepherd. He's everywhere. But then I realized, like, you know, I do think the voice is good. The voice is good. Whoever voice acts the male Shepherd, I can never remember their fucking name, is good. It does not work on a black person. It's very weird.
Mark Meir.
Mark Meir.
And yes, he is very white.
I need that knowledge to stop Sarah.
There is a way. I can transfer the knowledge.
Yeah, that's my mail, baby.
To yours, as I did
Maybe I should have brought
Though,
the
funnily
artist.
enough, he is Canadian.
Slow, deep
And obviously, Femship is Jen Hale, who is an amazing voice actress, but also
reach out to grasp the threads that
sounds like
bind
Jen
us
Hale.
Mhm.
onto another. Every
No
act
offense to
is
Jennifer
done
Hale.
to
I love her. I
benefit
love that she's
the
recognized.
galaxy.
But also,
Every idea must touch another mind to live.
at least in protagonist roles, they don't ask her to flex a lot.
No.
We are all connected. Every living being united in a single glorious existence.
That was a weird camera pull.
They do some weird camera pulls in here every once in a while.
Embrace eternity.
We had like a
Ah!
stutter at. Ooh. Oh, okay. They're just trying to. It's horror movie shit. Okay. Yeah, Prothean visions. They're so gross and weird.
I bet the sound team had fun with this.
Yeah.
Unleash Ultima! Sorry, I'm just thinking about weird shit. There's something weird about the eyes. I just can never get over it.
Eye tracking is, yeah.
I have given you the cipher.
They freak out a little bit.
Just as it was given to Saren.
The fucking
The
Dutch
ancestral
angle,
memories
too.
of the Protheans are part of you.
Listen, okay, at least the camera team the camera team is trying, but it's still a little weird for them to like shoot this like this is a fucking high budget prestige, you know, TV show.
Yeah, I know. I mean, they're making an effort. Like, I'm not.
You have been given a great gift. The experience of an entire people. It
Like,
And
takes
ironically,
time
I don't
for
think
your
you could
mind to
make a
process this
I mean, you
information.
could make a Mass Effect TV show actually. You just couldn't make a Mass Effect game TV show.
No. I mean, there's plenty. I think there's plenty of stories out here in Mass Effect. And in general, like, fuck, just follow some other, like, just follow some other Spectre doing, like, weird shit.
Yeah. And if you want to set it in the timeline before Shepard, you know, do some the N7 program shit, you know, the human spec ops that Shepard is part of.
Do you know what the conduit
They
is?
fuck around and do some stuff. And there was some prequel stuff. I think there was a CG animation that was supposed to be a prequel to 3 that was all about James Vega.
When the creature enveloped me,
I don't think it was very good, but that's because I don't know if they, you know, they brought the budget for the rendering.
it transcended all classification. The Thorian was a unique life form.
The only problem is always with Mass Effect is just, you know, the fucking
Yet
alien
cannot
shit, but
help
that's
but
a
notice
problem every
there
sci-fi
is
show
little
has.
like once I followed him.
Can you
blind
do a
to its
Turian with
creation.
makeup?
But now I see
I don't
he
know
made
if you could do the beak
galaxy
mouth.
into an age of
I think you
darkness.
could. It'd be you would have to wear a couple prosthetics though.
Like,
I want to know
sorry.
more about you.
There is nothing.
Corians, super easy. They're in suits. That's just, you know, full body costumes. Asari, I mean, you'd have to wear a head cap, but very doable.
I would like to stay here with the colonists.
The colonists will need all the help.
Solarians probably require some weird head prosthetics, but you could probably get it to work because otherwise they're pretty normal. Krogans would have to be like animatronics or full CG because
Oh,
they're
yeah.
weird little turtle people. I love, by the way, that Krogans are like murderous, sentient, snapping turtles. It's fucking rad.
No, it's pretty good. All right, I don't think there's.
And I do love that in Mass Effect 3's multiplayer, the melee, if you're a Krogan, is just the headbutt.
Oh, let's see here. I'm only getting 2 more points for 7 more levels. Let me do some quick here.
Headbutts.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whoop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 12.
But yeah, I'm thinking about it. I wasn't really looking at it with that eye because I like jumped into 2 first, so this was just kind of me being like backporting. But I think you are right that like I don't know if BioWare knew exactly what tone they were setting. Like obviously you can absolutely be fuck yeah humanity first Shepard. That's usually Renegade Shepard is fuck all them aliens. Humans first. Also, by the way, did a couple genocides on my way here. What's up? Renegade Shep rolls up to the council chamber like smoking a cigar made from like 10 billion year old Prothean relics. And more Paragon moves are more like, hey, we should all hang out. We're all in this together, man. We need to be cool. And I appreciate once again that Mass Effect went for the Paragon versus Renegade, which I like that distinction, and I wish more games tried that. I know for Dragon Age 2, for instance, they tried a slightly different thing because it was, rivalry or approval. You could lock in characters and not have to worry about their loyalty and all, but you moved their like whether you challenged their ideas or got them to agree with you. Whereas obviously Dragon Age DAO was just like straight up approval. Well, everybody remembers Morgan disapproves.
Did you do something good? Of course they did. All right.
Did you? Grey Warden, have you helped out a small orphan child? You should leave that small orphan child to fend for itself. Also, buy me that pretty mirror.
I bought the
Yes,
mirror.
Morgan, here, have your shiny things and stop trying to get me to recruit the werewolves. So they don't want to be werewolves anymore, okay? Yes, I know, werewolf army sounds cool, but...
If I remember correctly, there is a way that you can get both. I just don't remember.
Yeah, I think it's like an exploit. Like, it's a shenanigan. Though, with DAO, it is sometimes hard to tell what is a deliberate shenanigan and what is actually a glitch. But yeah, there's some shenaniganery. God, like I said, I really, BioWare, please, Dragon Age compilation. I know it'll be a bit of a pain in the ass, but like, you made it work for Mass Effect, you can do it. There'd be like 4 games. That'd be great.
Is it 4 games?
I mean, technically, because you have Dragon Age, and then you have Dragon Age Origins Awakening, which was the expansion pack version, which is like another 20 or 30 hours.
Yeah,
like,
I never played that.
Oh, it's pretty good. Actually, that's also very interesting, because Anders is in that.
Yeah, I've heard of Anders.
Completely different voice actor, but, that's where you get his character intro. And also, you have a you have a Dalish elf fire mage who is voiced by Grey Griffin, which is pretty funny. That was in the primo Avatar: Last Airbender days. And I'm not kidding. You get a Dalish mage, and all of her abilities are spec'd in fire.
Sure shook me up a bit.
Very fun. Ah, yes. The round table room of discussing shit.
Maybe we can make some sense of it.
We have to talk about our fifis after that last mission.
Honestly, debriefings are important.
It is important, but I think they improved the framing of this a little bit in future games. Like, this section is like... It feels a little forced sometimes. Like, I know debriefing is natural, but like, what we actually do is like, okay, we're all gonna sit around and talk about the shit now.
I actually think it is, now that I mention it, it is kind of weird. Like, I remember the last time I did, Ashley was like, when Leah...
Was incredible. All this time, all my research...
We're literally just gooping your brain out again. Yep, there we go.
I am sorry.
We're back, degooped.
The images were... You are remarkably strong.
What were you gonna say about Ashley?
Yeah, Ashley, like, Liara pops up, like, a suggestion, and Ashley's just like, did someone die and make you in charge? And I'm just like, Ashley, please cut it out.
What did you see?
Yeah, in 2, these kinds of, like, post-plot mission shit is usually handled by, you get on the telephone to the elusive man.
The data transferred into the commander's mind is incomplete.
Makes it a lot more focused.
You sure you didn't come across any kind of clue or hint?
And yeah, and in 3, you're usually talking to either Anderson or Admiral Hackett. So, like, they keep this format, but I think they do better for the gameplay purposes to shrink the cast down for those.
I want to hit the I told you so button.
The Prothean extinction and the conduit.
Yeah.
But I did not see anything that would help us
Because
find it.
like having this whole team round, honestly, and actually, if you got when you get to Mass Effect 2, that's even worse because then you'd have like, can you imagine doing a team debriefing and putting Miranda and Jack in the same room?
No, let me
It's
just
much
let
better
me
that
just
Jack
talk. Let me
just
just talk
decides
to
to hide
Yeoman
under the
Kelly.
engine core.
That's my favorite.
Sorry. The joining is
Yeah.
exhausting.
Listen, there's a reason why Jack decided to squat in the engineering space under the Mass Effect reactor, and it's not just because it's cool and quiet down there.
That will not be necessary. I just need some rest. Somewhere quiet.
God, can you imagine just being a Normandy rando and like be in one of the bunk rooms with Jack?
Commander. You want me to patch you through to the council?
Yes.
Patch him through, Joker.
Setting up the link now, Commander.
Commander, ExoGenny should have told us about the
You just pray in a space god. Please tell me Commander Shepard said Jack can't break anybody's neck.
For study instead of destroying it.
Oh, hey, it's these losers.
Mm-hmm.
ExoGenny tried to study it. Look how that turned out.
Don't be stupid.
At least the colony was safe.
The phrasing is so good. Anyway, yeah. I really want a Dragon Age collection like this to just play all the games through because they're so fun
Being
and there's
human
so
had
much
nothing to
extra
do with
shit.
it. They were in trouble.
Admirable. But sometimes specters have
Like, you're gonna have a really interesting time when you get to Mass Effect 3 with all the DLC installed because, like, as usual, BioWare had some pretty heavy-hitting story DLC there that is just, like, integrated. So you'll never know that that part was just, like, missing if you didn't pay $10.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. Like, this is, like, one of the reasons why I'm like, no, I'm gonna get in there. Oh, I'm gonna get in there.
Yeah, I had a really fun time playing Legendary Edition, even as somebody who played 2 and 3 with a decent chunk of the DLC.
All right, let me see.
But not all of it, because, like I said, it was, $10 a pop back in the day.
All right, so I got to go to Vermeer next. But I remember that is a thing, so I'm going to go do other things.
Yeah, the Vermeer mission is pretty important. It looks like you got some guys asking you for some stuff.
Artifacts, privateers, the listening device. The Kepler Verge and the Herschel system. Yeah, let's... Because that's... Oh, yeah. Another weird thing is I found it very weird that I randomly found Rex's Krogan ancestral armor, and it was just like... I was like, here you go, Rex. I was like, oh. I wish they...
Yeah.
Some of the mission tracking in this is weird. Because you can just go randomly go places. Like, there was another mission I did where a Asari diplomat on the Citadel had a sister that was... apparently blackmailing her, but I never figured that out. I just went to the planet they was landed, and I saw some pirates, like, oh, I'm gonna shoot these fucking pirates. Turns out the Asari was there, and I got the data, and then I went to her, and then I was all like, your sister wasn't kidnapped, she was blackmailing you, and I was like, wait a minute. I was like, that's...
Yeah, if I remember rightly, it's because all of the missions are actually, like, fixed. Like, there's no procedural generation in Mass Effect 1, so... Every open world area that has like a mission tied to it is that one. So if you just go to that planet first, you'll just run into it. Some of them have spawns that only happen when you do a mission, but a lot of them are just out there. So you do get weird shit like that. Like I also think I remember stumbling into like some objective for, I think actually it was just Rex's fucking armor.
And I got to like the story out of him after that because otherwise he's just kind of like, I don't want to talk about shit. And I'm like, that's cool, Rex. You do you.
But definitely, again, that's the thing that, like, 2 kind of... They really refined their craft. They really parsed it out, giving you extra stees.
The paperwork will keep. Something on your mind?
But yeah, we can probably wrap up in the not-too-distant soon. I do want to get some thoughts on Judgment Out, since I'm story complete anyway. Unlocked my premium quest. Overall, like, so story writing-wise, I think Judgment is very good. Judge Eyes in Japan. They keep a lot of their sensibility from the Yakuza games, but they go because you're not like supposed to be in that world. They go a little more ham on like the noirness, the neo-noirness. You're solving crimes and doing business and dirty deeds, and you gotta like all that stuff out there. I don't know if we're gonna go too deep on a weekly Gensekai talk. We might. I say that we'll say that, and then we'll talk for 2 more hours about it. People got stuff.
See, here's a little bit of that space race sim. Yeah, see how human aliens are. There's like, no, they're just aliens. Oh,
I don't see you snapping very easily.
Very forced dialogue.
He hurt Rana.
Yeah, humans are just aliens are just like people, man.
Instead of pulling it by
Yes, it's almost like the Reapers encourage convergent evolution, so they might consume.
Like an idiot, I stood up.
So they might reap something.
And Vernus lost it. Beat the
I'm pretty sure they hadn't decided how reaping actually worked in this game because, you know, they knew they were going to do some more games.
a military issue talent right in my face.
But yeah, so
I cut loose.
Judgment, story, writing, very good. You know, I think they do a very good job establishing, you know, Yagami's character and everything and all your supporting cast.
To help a girl you cared
There's some slight weirdness in like some of the side content and stuff. You know, for as much as, well, I know Yagami doesn't really want to be a practicing lawyer, as much as the fact that he still has his little lawyer badge comes up a lot. You do a lot of shit in this game that would get your ass disbarred so fast.
Mm-hmm.
And none of the powerful political enemies you make ever threaten to pull that trigger.
Yeah.
Like, I'm actually kind of shocked that they don't fall on the kind of like police misunderstanding stuff as much of a hard trope. I know that there's like a weird little subplot if you fight too long and get caught by the police. There's like an ongoing like little subplot thing that comes up there. I've never had a fight go on quite so long as to actually involve the police.
What's your opinion on the last?
I don't know if the police can show up to boss fights. That was the only part where like I felt like it's super lagged. Also, I think they're slightly randomized though. But like you actually get in remarkable little trouble with the law. It's as usual for Ryoga Gotoku Studios games. It's in that area where it's TV reel, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything operates on a rule of like what would work for a television drama.
Well, yeah. I mean, if
I
things
think
were
it's
realistic,
very obvious that they're go for it.
If things were realistic, there'd be a lot more red tape, a lot more investigation, a lot more people being arrested constantly.
Also, I'm gonna be honest. I think a lot less people would be dead.
Probably, yeah.
Like murder is messy and problematic.
I wanted to thank you.
What for, Garrus?
But like I think it's no negative thing to say, and it's definitely like very on point to think that like I think that studio is like actually like they're pulling from like TV dramas and shit, like, and movie style stuff. Like that's kind of like how their frame of references. So like you have things like, oh, I don't know, the health ministry assassins. It's totally a thing. Sure. Like you end up with threats more to like Yagami's person or the people they care about, or to like your nebulous moral goals. I was actually quite surprised. Like I finished the game technically on Thursday. I think I said like Wednesday after stream I was going to go wrap it up, but the finale actually was quite chunky, the actual final chapter. So much so that it had a dramatic time skip that I was not expecting. And that one felt a little weird. I was like, wait, didn't we just talk about how we have a deadline for this? But I guess, you know, unlike, say, Ace Attorney, it was actually quite realistic where the trial wasn't tomorrow. It was like in 2 months or whatever. But there's, you know,
That was 26
in our family, it's not really a celebration.
Definitely, like, I think that all fits, right? Like, I don't raise any eyebrows of like, man, Yagami's doing a lot of crimes, or man, Yagami should probably have gotten arrested there.
There's almost nothing in your file.
I do kind of feel like, I mean, I think it's part of the story structure. Sometimes I feel like the story treats Yagami as like a little, or rather, I think the story pivoted a little between like, is Yagami a vulnerable human being, or is Yagami, you know, not literally bulletproof, but like, oh, they won't actually do anything to harm him. He's tough. You got to worry out for like the people he likes, kind of a thing. Like we ping pong a little before, like, are you actually in mortal peril, or do you just have to worry about, you know, the health ministry assassinating Mafuyu? Because that's totally a thing they do.
Oh, I forgot. I didn't remember this about Ashley.
Which bit?
Oh, that her grandfather surrendered to an alien race, so humans, you know, have a stick up their ass about it.
Yes, that's her thing. I think that why she's supposed to be such a hard ass.
Yeah.
Like, she feels bad because she's from a military family, and you know she has that baggage.
Yeah. So no, like,
surrendered to aliens.
I should have figured this out.
So she feels like she has to be extra superhuman.
Look at who I am
which is totally legit, by the way.
Yeah.
That's very true. Like, if you're from a military family or from any kind of family business, shit your ancestors did will just come back on you for no fucking reason.
Yeah.
Sins of the father and all that. But yeah, like, again, I don't think it like really sucked me out of it. It just kind of felt like, in Judgment, they kind of pick and chose like where the stakes were, but it all flows together really well and all makes sense. I think that like the actual like the again in kind of their neo-noir style, the mystery writing flows really well together. The game doesn't necessarily hide shit from you too long. Like Lucky literally played the climax, including the final boss, on stream on a WhatsApp, and I was semi-watching. And even when I went back to it, I still didn't remember all the stuff. I got the impression, because that part takes place in a hospital, that it was about a medical thing, but I did not necessarily remember all the beats. And actually, I don't know if this was deliberate on their part or just it was a happy coincidence, but I couldn't actually remember who you fought as the final boss back then. Because I feel like there are a lot of the significant bad guy characters who have very similar silhouettes in this game. Like, a lot of them are like slightly older looking dudes with like, you know, squarish figures and usually like either, you know, close cropped or like slicked back hair. There's a lot of dudes like that, right? So, and obviously it's Japan, so everybody's wearing a fuck ton of suits. And I find it very funny that's something Yagami talks about as you wrap the game. He's like, detectives don't have to wear suits. You just lounge around in my office, find cats, drink coffee.
No, it doesn't.
What happened to your grandfather shouldn't have happened.
But
At least somebody knows that.
like,
And a Star of Terror recipient.
I you know, I don't know if there's like meant to be super big twists per se in Judgment, but it's more of like that classic noir thing of like, the audience is usually a couple steps ahead of the characters, and you're more about trying to figure out like how we're gonna get this done. Or even like, how are we gonna struggle against this overwhelming system? That's something that like Dresden Files does very well with its mysteries, and I've seen a few other things do where like Harry Dresden usually pegs what the fucking problem is like halfway through the book. The rest of the book is like him figuring out, okay, I'm one guy. How the fuck do I deal with this?
Usually getting very beat up in the process.
Yes, and I feel like Judgment is very much a mystery in that same format. You figure out and can tell what's supposed to be going on fairly early and to the point, but a lot of the plot is like, okay, we know that this guy is connected to the mole. How do we get it out of him? You know, blah, 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 blah. Go through all that stuff. Okay, shit, we know who the mole is. Ah, fuck, we know who the mole is. How the fuck do we get this guy, you know? Like, or figuring out that, like, it's, you know, about the ADDC and 89 and shit like that. Like, you know all the shit, and, like, and it's like, okay, but how do we make this work in a way that matters, right? And so it's a pretty good one to unpack. I think it's a very good writing. And I would say to recommend it if you have played some Yakuza games and like how they are, because this one's pretty similar to a lot of the formulas. Like I said, I played a decent amount, like 4 or 5 hours of Kiwami 1, and may end up probably going back at some point. Just again, not right now. So many video games. Oh my god.
Yeah, I still need to get back to Kiwami 2 personally.
Yeah, there's so much to it. And like, I appreciate that a decent amount of it is optional. Like, Riga Gotoku's style is usually giving you way more shit than you need to do or possibly even want to do. Like, there's activities I was stumbling into late game, like, until I realized there were like 2 friends behind it. I never touched the batting cages, and then I was like, fuck yeah, batting cages. What's that? You want to go on a date to the batting cages? Let me just bust out my gloves and my golden bat. Boom. You know, shit like that. Like, and there's stuff I still wasn't very good at. I don't know shit about shogi.
I still haven't cracked that one personally either.
No, like, I understand chess, but I've tried to do some of the shogi shit and just been like, all right, I don't understand the strategy at all for these pieces. I'm getting my fucking clock cleaned. And then at other times I'm like, all right, let's go back to the Dragon Palace and play some Hanafuda. Let's do some fucking koi koi. You know, stuff like that. And I think the game is very, very good at, like, pulling those things out. Some of it is, like, required for side stuff. Others are not. And, like, honestly, the rewards for, like, for some of this stuff is, like, so minor, it's not really important. I did it because I was trying to unlock all the side cases, but, like, the friendship you unlock for completing all the batting cage courses, which is the manager of the batting cages, and then you do his devil's course. He just gives you the ability to steal enemy bats with EX gauge. It's funny, but it's also kind of limited.
I think that's the thing. As a point, I think that's the thing about EX actions is they're almost all highly situational. But
yeah,
because, and this is like the problem I had with Ishin, is they don't actually have as many EX actions, so you usually see yourselves doing a lot of the same ones. But depending on like where you are in Lost Judgment, you can just literally have like random ass EX actions that you weren't expecting, and some of them are weird. Like one of the first scene I saw about Judgment is how you can kind of just skip a mini boss fight with an EX action with an EX action. I can't remember what it was exactly or how you do it, but basically, if you do the EX action near the street, basically a car comes up and you run into it, and the mini boss, kicks the door, and the door just opens up, and a guy just pulls in the mini boss, and it's two Yakuza, and they just put his arms around him, and the car just drives off.
Yeah, and you'd never know that was a thing. Yeah, I remember the regular Judgment has like the traffic one where a guy nearly gets hit by a car, you save him, and then you just punch his lights out.
Yeah, and so EX actions are as a I guess as a rule, usually pretty limited, but that just makes it so much more interesting when you do have the chance to pull it off.
Yeah. And I will say, so I personally felt like parts of the combat for Judgment were a little clunky at times. And I think that was known because I read somewhere that I think in Lost Judgment they actually made it so that the combo speed thing you can buy is just maxed out from the start. They just gave you more speed. So they must have known that the game played a little slow initially. I actually, until I realized that my weird elixirs that give me OP powers were unlimited, I actually had the game dialed down to easy for a while, and then I was like, oh, wait. Well, if I get in trouble, I can just do something goofy and get out of here.
Message coming in.
I definitely kind of felt like it did sometimes seem like the game's desire for what you should be doing in fights was to just figure out how to do as much crazy shit as possible, which is usually pretty typical for Yakuza, but I like you said, sometimes, depending on where you're physically standing, you don't actually have a lot of really weird extra options. Like, obviously, most of the time you can pull off wall jumps.
Yep.
But sometimes you're in pretty big open areas, so it's a little harder to get everybody lined up. But other times it's like, oh yeah, your bat action doesn't help. None of these guys brought bats. And like sometimes it felt kind of like just punching guys was not very robust. I don't think I bought the final damage upgrade. I did get all the health upgrades, which is pretty nice, but I don't think I bought the third level of damage upgrade because SP can be a little tight at times. They do a decent job of like really stacking it on you as you're going through like the last bit of the game, but it still definitely feels like sometimes it's a little squishy because there's some very expensive shit. And obviously, again, most of that's optional. You don't need a lot of this shit, but it did definitely feel like I was
mounting is an actual thing. Okay. Axe, having to clarify for me as usual, but apparently that is not just a one-off thing.
Yeah, but you have to be next to fancy cars. Situational awareness. And like obviously some of them are like talk about the EX action. Some of them are like super situational but very fun. Any of the ones you can get for having a friend in a storefront.
Oh yeah.
Whether it's fucking the yakitori or the chopsticks. If you do it outside of like I think like Wild Burger or Smile Burger, the fucking hot sauce.
Yep.
No, I love that shit. Especially doing it to Keihin gang bosses. I hate the fucking Keihin gang. They suck so much. Oh my god. Ugh. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the way the threat thing worked out. I feel like the idea was to constantly give you a source of like crafting materials and guys to fight. But also it at a certain point in the game, it feels like it's just like, oh my god, these guys will not fucking stop. And the game, like I said, if you ignore it entirely, the game does try to make you feel bad. Honestly, once you get decently leveled up. Most of the fights are okay. I will say this: I almost never fucking fought Koga if I could avoid it. That guy sucks.
Is that
Mr.
the one with the
Double
guns?
Uzis or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the gun guy. And also the weird, like, if you knock him to the ground and then he'll, like, pull out 2 guns and shoot your ankles. And it's a little hard to get out around that stuff. Mortal Wounds felt a little clunky, but most of the time I had enough cash to keep loaded up on medkits. I do kind of feel like I don't understand why there were multiple sizes of medkit. I know they offered you different levels of healing, but I felt like just chugging lots of small healing items to stay alive and then refilling by eating food in between was a lot easier than being like spending. God, how much did the large medical kit cost again? It was a lot of fucking money.
It's a lot of money, yeah.
Yeah, I just loaded up on small kits to take care of mortal wounds when I got them, because sometimes it's the Judgment treats guns, I feel like, a lot more spicy than the Yakuza games usually do. And I don't think you can get a gun at all as Yagami.
I do not believe so.
Yeah. So, like, that was an interesting take, but it definitely, like, Koga's thugs and some guys would just whip out guns, and it would be like, you don't got a lot of warning about it other than just, they're gunning. I saw a lot of cops in the finale draw guns, but luckily none of them really tried to shoot me, so that I was happy about. I was able to see, like, what's that? You're getting out your revolver? No, I will punch you. But yeah, I felt like some fights, and like I said, especially the repeated boss fight with the Keihin gang, got a little clunky. I felt like there was a lot of just guys who were just absorbing normal blows and, like, hit guarding. Like, not even fully, like, blocking, but just, like, the game would be like, nah, that hit doesn't count for full. Because I admit part of it was just because it's really neat, but I did try to actually, you know, obviously for 1v1s, Tiger style is better. You know, Crane has got your big sweepy attacks, but, you know, Tiger's got a lot of DPS focus and some special actions. I tried to do a lot of my, you know, flux inversion. It's flux something. My cool, you know, pulse punch. But a lot of guys would just be like, nah, that hit didn't count. And I know that there are, like, extracts you can craft and take to, like, break guards and get through hit stun, even, like, hit guys through mortal attacks, but... And I know that Yakuza games are not usually shy about using your inventory management in the middle of a fight. That's kind of, you know, how you do things, you know? It's like I said, it's got very much in the usual style of combat. If that is not your thing, this is probably not the game for you. Mm-hmm. I'm okay with it. There were times when I felt like it was a little clunky, and enemies felt like they had a little too much health just to chew through that extra mile. But other parts flowed pretty well, and like I said, I was shocked how much, like, I put it down for, like, a few weeks while I was sick. When I picked it back up to actually finish Judgment, I was shocked that I was like, oh yeah, no, I'm just right back in the combat. You know, big groups, go to Crane, you know, throw in some big sweepy kick combos, do some wall jumps, you know, do my EX burst mode, just throwing lots of punches. You know, oh, is there a really big bad guy? I got a full bar. I'll go into my burst mode and do Tiger Dances with Crane for a big punch. Shit like that. You know, I feel like the fucking Tiger drop was just so useful just to randomly catch enemies out with counters. Because a lot of times enemies don't give a fuck about being hit.
Tiger drop is a classic.
Yeah. And just very useful, like I said. The way they handled, like, the fighting stance still felt a little clunky to me. I feel like the game could have used, like, a full lock-on system for enemies as opposed to adopting your fighting stance kind of locks on, but doesn't really, like, because you can fighting stance when there's no guy near you and you'll be locked facing away from dudes. So yeah. There were a couple of times where it felt a little clunky to keep track of multiple guys. But then again, like I said, you just, if you're really getting overwhelmed, like, there's so many dumb extracts, I would just, you know, get the big explosion circle or the fucking, you know, I set my fists on fire or whatever. I call in beams of light from the sky, you know. It does make me kind of interested to check out, at some point, Like a Dragon 7, or Yakuza Like a Dragon, you know, the 7th game, which is when they went turn-based.
Yeah, no, I'm eventually going to get there. Eventually.
Yeah, because I want to see, like, how that matches up, because I feel like from what I've seen of clips, that seems to hit the, like, their sweet spot of, like, crazy over-the-top attack animations also, if like your basic bitch punches don't do a lot of damage, that almost feels more natural in an actual like turn-based RPG. So I don't know. I want to see how it compares, because I feel like it'll probably be weird and a jump. And going into Ishin, I'm very interested because I know you have a lot of different stances to kind of see how that shakes out. I saw you working on guys, and it didn't seem like street thugs were giving you a lot of trouble because you would just, shoot them with guns or shoot laser beams. So it seems like that one also has some slight streamline, though. I've heard that the action can be kind of, I think clunky is maybe the word people are using at points. Well, we'll see. Disc's in, it's installed. So yeah, like I said, I like Judgment's story and its characters a lot. I think that there are a couple of weird beats. The fact that the game doesn't really do much to acknowledge the fact that you can date all these chicks at once, but also gives you a lot of like classical like relationship tease with like Mafuyu as well, and you can't really do anything about that. Like, it's a little bit of a weird beat. Me, Omega, in real life, I'm a big Sayori man, but there's a lot of stuff going on there.
A lot of people like Sayori.
I mean, I know, great personality, and I do like that. I assume the reason why she has kind of her normal like dressed down mode is so that she is kind of like, unassuming and probably not getting harassed a lot. And then when you go to the nines, you got to walk around this area and everybody is like, damn, she's hot. I understand why she doesn't get dolled up all the time, but she looks great. Thumbs up. Really wish they let me add the glasses in the journalist disguise. I felt like it would have gone the extra mile. We just changed the hairstyle.
Oh god, I did. Sorry, I'm just thinking about the journalist mission and how heck that was.
Yeah, it's a lot of. They do a good job of balancing their silly and serious and stuff. The fucking pervert trio. Who like. They're funny, but also the game is not afraid to be like, yeah, these guys suck. They're bad. No, like they go right up there with like the career criminals and medical department ninjas or whatever, Ministry of Health ninjas that you have to worry about. And just like, yeah, nobody cares that Yagami beats these guys' asses. This guy's name is Ass Ketchum. Put him in the ground. So there's some decent fun there, and I think I like all the supporting characters. They do a real good moment both with your optional characters. Like I said, there's the big moment with when the Keihin gang puts a fucking 10 million yen bounty on your head, and like all your friends you've made along the way come to bail you out, including all your battle buddies, your weird battle buddies. Like the ninja who's the American ninja and Mr. Try and Hit Me. But they also do that moment with your other boys as well when you in the finale with your actual squad. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of squad goals moments in Judgment. Very good, yeah. Very solid.
You gotta put together the crew.
And I love the fucking combo attacks, when me and Kaito fucking obliterate that guy's spine. That guy is dead. We broke his back in like 4 places. He's dead, okay? He's just fucking dead. Like, I know we joke about Kiryu not killing people because he like exploded a lot of guys, but like some of these hits, these EX actions, those dudes are dead. I exploded all their bones. But great work. I don't think I necessarily felt some of the stuff the reveal with Suguya coming, but I did feel like that guy was weird. Like I was like, he's putting out some vibes. I'm wondering about him. But honestly, it all shakes out and stuff. Yeah, I know the joke about Kiryu never killing him, but the director said that. I believe the joke in Judgment is Yagami never does crimes or Yagami never breaks the law.
Oh, it's like in the same line of like a Cosmic Kiryu never bangs. I'm just like, wait a minute.
Like, so much lockpicking. Also, I'm pretty sure some of the drone stuff you do is illegal.
Oh, definitely. Listen, Japan takes their fucking surveillance laws very seriously.
Yeah. no, there's a lot of stuff going on, but it all flows together. Everybody's good, and I will say, and I believe this is a generally shared opinion, but the final boss fight actually, like, that felt really smooth. That flowed together really well with all the different phases. I am glad that the mole finally did run out of bullets. I was counting, because he does not mind. He is fucking slinging in that last sequence, just gunning down cops and dudes, and I'm like, buddy, are you gonna have to reload ever? And eventually he does run out, so you can just punch him, but still, no, it's, but yeah, that one was actually, like, I feel like that one was paced really well, and I liked the flow to it. I didn't have to do, like, any crazy cheese stuff. I got my hits in, dodge your combos. It's solid.
Did I? No, okay.
The only side case I didn't do was the Super Mega Ultimate final side case, because that's the super boss fight with Shinamon. It's very rough.
Oh, excuse me.
Because he steals your fucking phone.
Yeah.
Which I was not ready for that particular interface screw, so. It's a solid game, and like I said, there's so much shit to do that you don't have to do, but it's just fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can play darts, you can play actual Sega fucking arcade games, you can play Commodore of the Dead, which is like a mix of the zombie shooter they made, Yakuza Dead Souls, and just House of the Dead, So there's so much fun stuff. I got to get good at Crane Game for once.
Oh, there's just a meteor shower happening right now. Okay.
Collecting me a lot of Kyoto Nyans. Also, there's Virtual Kamurocho, which you can make fucking bank at.
It's fun.
Though also is very finicky. Like, I was looking up, like, skill books and shit I hadn't unlocked before the finale, and one was like, yeah, so you get this skill book from this exact safe space in this course in VR Paradise, and I'm like, oh, I do not know if I want to RNG grind that one, and I do not know if I want to get enough skill points to get the precision press yet. That's very expensive. So I ended up just skipping it. Like I said, there's so much stuff you don't need that's just convenient for you. Honestly, if I were to go back and like play the game from like a 0 point, do you keep your EXP expenditures when you go on your premium adventure, when you do New Game Plus?
I believe so. I have not tried myself, but they're usually pretty good about that.
If I were to actually start from 0, honestly, I would probably avoid spending the points on some of the early helpful shit, like extended timers for tailing. I bought all those early because I was like, ooh, this will make this easier and more convenient. I don't think I ever needed the full, like, 40 seconds or whatever they give you. I don't want to say those are traps, right? Because some people might not have the right reaction time to get in there and stuff like that. And some of them are very convenient. The one that, like, gives you the slight controller vibration and buzz before the perfect shot is about to happen when you're doing photographing missions is nice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way, chat, I got the Oh Look a Cat trophy.
Yeah.
I found all the cats.
It's important.
Without a guide. I was just like...
You just listen for that meow, you just look around.
I was like, hold on, there is a cat here. Including in the final bit, which you did show on stream, because that's when you talked about the mechanic, but I did also have to do the same thing, where it was like, hold on, Sugita, I know we need a key card because the fucking plot's going on and shit's exploding, but I hear a cat. Yagami hears cats from a long-ass way away, by the way. Some far fucking cats. But no, yeah. Got a lot of the extra fun stuff in there. There's a lot of funny stuff to do, like I said. And I'll get to Lost Judgment, like I said. I just wanted to make sure to clear Judgment out of the way before I moved on to Ishin, because that's the new game, and I'm very interested in that one from a thematic standpoint. Being all samurai drama and stuff.
It's very samurai drama.
Yeah, so that'll be fun to bust in there. I gotta put in my code for my free physical bonus of Japanese swords and cannons.
I personally would not. I did that. I literally never use them. Literally never. And there's, I guess if you like free like mid-tier weapons from the start, sure. Like I thought, like I bought them, thought they would be all right. But
are the swords cool?
Ish. One, they're both like mid-pair tier. One has some effects on it, and the other one just has a bunch of empty sockets. But your socket game is rough in Ishin because they're random drops. I don't know if there is a way to just buy them or make them, but
Okay.
So
I might give it a pass, then I might not bother. I do appreciate the fucking stickers they slot in the cases, though, because I'm starting a collection now.
Oh, that reminds me. They fucking the RGG studio Twitter just let me know that they got fucking Goro Majima goods. Now I'm like, yes, I am seriously consider getting me a fucking hoodie.
Yeah, it's pretty
good. They have a Goro Majima bed sheets, pillows.
Of course they do.
Nah, it's pretty good. They know what people want. If I had a guest room in my house, I would make a Goro Majima theme. I would do that in a fucking heartbeat. You come sleep at my house, you're gonna sleep at Goro Majima. Just posters, beds, just things. You have alarm clock that goes, Kiryu-chan.
Yeah.
I know what I'm about.
Play the Majima warning sound first, then the Kiryu-chan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'll be hyped to get into Ishin to try it out. But also I will be, like I said, the shout out to them, the writing for Judgment and the way it is structured. That like it is a game that is very easy to slip in and out. And like even though I only had like the last big plot point of like chapter 12 and then the finale to actually go through, I still did all that and I'm like, yeah, I could throw in Lost Judgment, but also don't do that because I ordered Ishin. You got other shit to do.
Mm-hmm.
You wanna cycle through these things, but it's very solid. And I'll knowing what I remember from you streaming Lost Judgment and stuff, I can't wait to get into the the how do you do fellow kids nonsense. It's gonna be fucking skateboarding. Gonna use some rhythm game shit.
I hope
it will be a slight shame. I'm sure that well obviously I hope there's like a little like nod for me having my save file and maybe like give me some extra cash. It'll be funny to be like, oh no, where did I put my golden bat,
It's like, oh no, I am broke again, eternally.
I'm 3 months behind on my rent as I have, the fucking trophy for having, 10 million yen or whatever. That's okay. I worked out a deal. I actually improved my landlady's cooking and she left me snacks in the fridge. Snacks.
I don't think I can get up.
But yeah, Judgment, pretty good. I will say, like I said, if you have tried a Yakuza game and did not find a lot of the core gameplay for you, this one's still pretty similar. Don't know if you're gonna shake that, but it's an all-around time. And well, obviously it gets very daunting at times. I do generally like the format they have. Like the environments they have for like Kamurocho and stuff are so like in-depth and alive and full of just little detail. And
yeah. No,
I do like just the mini games everywhere. Yes, I'm not good at some of them. I understand that I am not and I admit I said this before, but I do not think that some of these like the mini games that are real games are necessarily formatted to teach you. Like honestly, I talked about how the game does not do a good job of helping you approach Mahjong because I still don't understand a lot of the complex shit there. How the fuck do I call Ricci anyway? But I will admit they don't do any better with like Koi Koi. I just have played virtual Koi Koi before and understand how it works.
I'm not supposed to be driving this way. Okay.
Yeah, your thrusters are on the back, but it's okay. The Mako truly doesn't give a fuck. Back to ASO.
I have learned that if you just rapidly press the boosters, you can maintain better forward momentum than just slamming them, because you can maintain it almost infinitely.
Yeah, and I think there's a little initial burst of thrust as well.
I think I got around it.
But yeah, like I said, I love how full-bodied their world settings are, and and part of that is like the fact that there is shit to do everywhere, just like in real life. Like if you're in a packed urban area, there is stuff like that. There's, lots of little shops, lots of little clubs. There's plenty of places to eat.
Like one of the best things though is like you can't necessarily fully get this, but if you play previous games, since they all have a Kamurocho place, like you can see how the place changes over the years and just be like, oh yeah, I remember this, or I remember this not being here, or stuff like that, and it's always just a mood. Like
yeah, it's a really interesting thing. I know a little bit of that because, like I said, I've played Kiwami, though that was a lot. And I do know that there's I think that might technically be a backport because they might have covered some of this in 0, but like there are actually some landmarks in Kamurocho that are like newer versus older that are like related to plot stuff.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
if I remember rightly about like how like where Millennium Tower is.
Yeah, Millennium Tower. What happens to the homeless camp? The thing that killed me in Judgment is the fucking Don Quixote got removed and the police station got put there. I was like, the fuck?
Yeah, they still have a Don Quixote location, but they got different places. Yeah,
they move shit around.
Yeah,
no, like I love Kamurocho.
And some places you just don't go because, oh god, what is the name of the bar from the first Yakuza game? God, it's been so long since I played it. I don't remember. Yeah. That obviously still exists in Judgment, and you can go up those back stairs, and I think they might be open. It's just that Yagami doesn't have any reason to go there.
Nope.
So it's just like a cool cameo.
I mean, trust me, I went through an older Yakuza game. I look where fucking Yagami's fucking office is supposed to be. I think it's actually a love hotel in earlier games. I'm just like,
interesting. Well, they do remodel because after all, there is a fucking weird abandoned love hotel in Judgment. That segment was strange because they were like, I feel like that maybe they were trying to keep it lighthearted because the material was otherwise so serious, but that one was really weird because there's like fucking a fucking leather daddy slasher villain man there you have to fight, and you have to like acquire electric massagers to blow shit up. But also, it's a horrifying sight of unethical human experimentation.
Yep.
Like I said, that's another thing. If you're not keen on these kinds of mood swings, these games will get you.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I understand the, I believe it's a location and stuff. I'm just saying, like, the way that was built was paced weird. Because they, like I said, they ping pong between very serious material and also, like, hey, by the way, pull up this quote-unquote personal massager and throw it into this pool of water to short-circuit this electrical box. Okay. In one area, Tsukida has been grabbed and he's, like, being fucking literally hung by a noose, and you have to complete the fight in 3 minutes before he dies. And then in the other, there's a fucking, the Mr. X of leather daddies hiding behind these jail cells to crush your skull or something. It has a lot of these moments where, like, it'll be deathly serious, and then it'll be very comical, and then we'll be back to deathly serious. Which I think is by design. It's just one of those things that, like, might not be to some people's taste. I am perfectly okay with it. Sometimes I do notice, like, that is a weird mood swing, but generally I follow along at least. All right, touch the weird Geth shit.
I touched it.
All right. But yeah, glad to be finished with Judgment, but it was a good time to go through, and we'll be bonkling along to some other stuff as well. I'm sure I'll have some initial Ishin thoughts myself by next week, but we shouldn't let it get too late because I know you guys want to go do the stuff.
Yeah, we go do this.
It's really cooling off. Sorry, it's 56 degrees outside. I actually need to go close my window, I think, because it's getting cold.
I'm 48. Let's see here. Recently we going. Goodbye, world. Whee!
Whee! I just love the little dink you do with the back off the mountain. Boink.
All right, let's just jump off. Also, vertical thrusters, fucking useless.
Yes, correct. Does nothing.
Does nothing.
Cute, but not very helpful with the way all of these.
The only time I use them is when I say I'm done with fucking climbing this mountain. I just want to, kill myself. I'm done. But recently we have been talking about game releases coming out. As you know, Resident Evil will be out in less than 2 weeks. A little less than 2 weeks. So prepare for that. We will be streaming that. I think we're expecting that to take about 5-ish weeks, maybe.
Yeah, it really depends on like how much stuff they added and changed up.
Yeah. But that's basically my quote unquote March game. And recently I was looking at April to see what was there, and I was slightly shamed to realize that that's when both Dead Island 2 and Jedi Survivor is coming up, both of which I want to play. I might just double dip on them and get them both on release dates. Because I am interested. You talked about this. You weren't that much of a fan of Dead Island. Did you actually ever play it? Or
Yeah, I own the first Dead Island.
okay.
I played a little bit of it, but I didn't get super sucked in.
No, like
'cause I don't think just scheduling wise I ever had enough time to do it with friends.
Mhm.
I know Ron was really into it, so I was like, this seems cool, but it didn't super grab me right away.
I like zombie survival games in general. Like I was mostly okay with like Dying Light, and I haven't tried Dying Light 2. Dying Light 2 is weird though, like, and it's all like in its development cycle and how everything is. So I'm not entirely sure it exists. But I am interested in Dead Island 2 because, like I said, it looks like actually, I think they talked about. That's something I need to look in. I think they released some more game. There's been some news recently on it and gameplay footage. I should check that out. And Jedi Survivor is Jedi Survivor. If they do the same thing they did with the first game, it's gonna be a good time. I don't know if it'll be a great time, but it'll be a good time, and that's all I want. But following that is April, which is Tears of the Kingdom. That's all I'm getting. That's all I need. If I can't spend a month playing an open world Legend of Zelda game, there's a sniper on me. Oh, it's over there. I'm going the wrong ass way. Thanks, jamming. If I can't spend a month playing a fucking open world Legend of Zelda, it's like I do not know how to waste time. But then following that will be June, which is gonna be just blocked out for Final Fantasy 16. That's all. That's all you need. That's all I need. I'll be playing that for a long ass time.
Well, it doesn't come out until the 22nd, so you got a little bit of time to kill in June.
A little bit of time.
That'll be fine for me because, like I said, I'm waiting for We Love Katamari to come out then, because that's very early in June, and that will not take the whole month.
Die. Oh. I don't know if there's anything in July or August I want.
July... Legend of Heroes Trails into Reverie?
Oh, I'm... No, that, oop, dropship. Hey! You stop that. Stop that.
None of that. Kill Geth dropships? You can.
It has a health bar.
Oh, yeah, you can definitely get him.
I don't think I can do it with small arms fire here.
No, probably not. Right, you don't have access to heavy weapons at Mass Effect 1 either. But yeah, other than that, unless Exoprimal turns out to be super cool, probably not. Nothing in July, no.
Yeah. I am interested in picking up Starfield, but like I said, that's going to be definitely on PC. I got to make sure that my computer can actually run it, though.
Hopefully it'll be able to. Usually, Bethesda are not crazy about pushing tech. They want you to buy games.
Yeah. That's what I'm hoping for.
I will hopefully have budgeted it. Well, I shouldn't even say hopefully. By September, I will definitely have budgeted out and actually figured out exactly what I'm going for with the new machine. So there's still a lot of stuff that is not yet announced, but yeah, that's the dates we got.
Mm-hmm.
Like August, there's nothing really crazy, and then Starfield is September, early September.
Ooh, excuse me.
I feel like you know, we talk about stuff like it's still listed there in May on Game Informer's review. I check out the list of release dates, but we know that Suicide Squad has pushed itself back for an indefinite number of time, probably because they don't want to compete with Tears of the Kingdom. You know, I definitely feel like a lot of big AAA games are like, okay, these are when, you know, Legend of Zelda and Final Fantasy 16 are coming out. Okay, we'll work around that. And honestly, generally, I could see game devs doing the same with Starfield. Like, I'm definitely kind of mid expectation-wise on Starfield, just because, like I said, they've taken a while for this to come out. I remember when they were planning on doing it on the Skyrim day, the Bethesda day, and that's, like, definitely not happening. Personally, I've been kind of, like, wondering about the lack of, like, more in-depth, you know, demo footage and stuff. And obviously, if they're still planning on it not coming out for another 6 months, yeah, September is the month 9. It is currently the month 3, so another like 6ish months from now. Obviously, that probably means we're not going to see that stuff yet, but it's still a pretty big release. You know, Bethesda's a pretty big developer.
Like I said, it's a AAA new IP, so I think they're putting a fair amount into. Oh, I got another level.
Like
stasis.
Core Bethesda games, like actually Bethesda Softworks stuff. Like their games are known to be, I'm trying to think what the right verb is. Buzzwords and shit. Their games are, it's going to sound like this is a backhanded compliment, but I don't mean it that way. Bethesda Softworks games, like core Bethesda Studios games, are eminently playable. Obviously, they're very buggy and very chaotic, but they have a way of, like, usually getting you in there.
Yeah.
There's a reason why they have been able to Skyrim 5 million times. It's because Skyrim is Skyrim, you know? Like, it's not like a crazy good game, but it's a very easily playable game, and you can get sucked into it, and you can find new horseshit to do. I, ran through Fallout 3, 3 or 4 times. Fucking bought all the DLC for Fallout 3. There's quite a lot they've got going for them in terms of, like, their actual playability. So, I suspect that, assuming it is not, like, fucking broken as hell right out the gate, beyond, like, the normal shit. I mean, like, actually, like, non-functional on PC. Because you never know. We're back to PC ports being very hit or miss these days. Because, unfortunately, PC hardware is not standard, and there's no service text to help you optimize. I think their game will be okay. It will be playable. They'll be fun. There'll probably be some dumb shit, and of course, God knows what kind of nonsense there'll be in the main plot, right? About touching some alien shit and, entering the center of the universe or whatever the fuck.
Wait, stop that.
But
stop that.
Also, again, it's a Bethesda game. You're just going to fucking ignore the story for 40 hours. The game is going to tell you to go find your space dad, and you're going to be like, cool, I'm going to go become a pirate. I'm a space pirate now, actually. Fuck you. Or, God forbid, depending on how their subsystems are, it'll be like me with fucking Skyrim when they added the house building DLC. I'm like, what's that? I can build a house? Oh no, I require specific materials to furnish my house? Okay, I'm going on a quest to mine enough stone so I can build my kitchen.
I do remember they talk about, I do believe there's base building involved in this.
Yeah, they've got Snap 2 base and shipbuilding, so depending on how they handle that with, like, resources and stuff, I could totally see myself being like, okay, I'm just going to mine asteroids for the next 4 hours because I want a cool spaceship.
Yeah, no, that's me. Yeah, I'm gonna live my isekai life dream here. I'm gonna go to another planet. I'm gonna make a house, build the crops, and I'm just gonna enjoy shit. That's all I need in life. And I hope they do it better than Fallout 4.
We'll see. They have a lot of Snap 2, but they've also had a shitload of years to make their engine better, so maybe they'll actually, like, get some less glitchy physics.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Hopefully enough people complained about Fallout 4 and the way that guys in settlements constantly harass you that's not going to be how Starfield works.
Well, also, I'm hoping that, since we're not in a fucking, a post-apocalyptic situation, everything's not fucking jank.
Yeah, no, there should be some shiny space shit. They definitely look like there's some interiors that are very nice, right? Like, They have a couple of different aesthetics, which is good. Sorry, yawn. And to be fair, also, like, while it's not as nearly as freeform as Fallout 4 attempted to be, like, the kind of building and crafting and stuff you can do in Skyrim was not. Like, it was to Skyrim's aesthetic, which was, well, fantastical and vaguely medieval, still, like, You could actually get some clean shit. Like, get some good lines, get some fancy pants stuff. But yeah, video games, they're coming out.
Yep, I think that's everything I really wanted to talk about. We are planning, hopefully, I am excited for Jinsekai tomorrow. We're finally, hopefully, resolving this particular plot.
Yep. I had to do some extra thinking because you guys got in some prep time. But we're going to start with some touch moments.
Okay.
You also get his fight. You guys can get some more intel, and then you guys can figure out what you're doing with the thing and the place and the guy.
Exciting.
I sure hope it will be. Though I suppose there is something still fairly rewarding enough to if you guys do manage to sufficiently plan around everything and it goes smoothly, you know?
Well, I mean,
that doesn't have quite the same oh fuck tension, but usually feels fairly satisfying. Sorry, I'm yawning and rubbing my eyes again. I need to go close my window. Anyway, we've been going for like 3 hours. We can wrap up.
We can wrap up.
I'm good. Yes. Clear everything off the notes list. We end where we began. Lucky driving in big circles in the Mako.
Yeah, I think that's very indicative of the Mass Effect experience right here.
Yep, but we're wrapping up, which means time for outro. Outro goes something like this. If you like this video, be sure to give it a like. If you have any comments, you can leave in the comment section or hit up our Discord. In the video description and on our channel page. If you're new here and haven't already, please subscribe to the channel to get more. We will be streaming RE4 Remake when it comes out in those weeks. Until then, Mega Man X3. So join us on Mondays. Sub now. Make sure to ring that bell for notifications so you know we're posting a new video when we're streaming. You can join our channel membership to get access to membership badges and emotes. You can see displayed in the chat box on your right-hand side. You can also do, like I said earlier, and support us on Patreon to get access to audio versions and other cool shit. Speaking of Fallout, Loth's trying to play Fallout 4. Probably with 10 billion mods.
He's going to crash his computer and then complain.
True, but I can't really, let he who without mods cast the first stone. Who hasn't blown some shit up installing some mods? Let me know in the commentos. But that's about it for the show. We'll see you next time.
All right, everyone. Have a good evening.
Good day.